We pod episodes in already. This is Hollywood Matt Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. Just ticking the boxes, making sure the lawyers are satisfied. It was in the contract, very fine print. Definitely not something that I made up to be able to show off my biceps. Of 22 years in the gym, definitely not anything like that whatsoever. The co-host, co-founder, co-breather of air, co-wearer of clothes in this very room. It is, in fact, the master of disaster, the king of sting. It is the Count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is, in fact, the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. And there it is there, the illustrious trophy held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is, in fact, Dave Stockbridge. Stockbridge, welcome to your own podcast.
I would like to say it's not my own podcast. It's very much our podcast. It's the AWE podcast. It's everybody who may be watching, wherever you may be, anywhere around the world. Welcome to the AWE podcast. Hollywood Matt Connelly, an exciting week in the world of AWE.
Yes, absolutely. Working towards our AWE number 2 event here in Adelaide on July the 2nd, being held at Adelaide Oval. It is very exciting. We're in the office. We're in the works every day. There is content and deals and flights and accommodation and all sorts of things being worked out at the same time. So, yes, we are very excited. We've got a bunch of athletes that are coming over from all around the world. We've got people from the United States. We've got people from South Africa. We've got people from New Zealand.
Formerly of Latvia.
Even though they're still Latvian. Yes, Gunter's Bykovs will be taking on Marcus Itirai in the heavyweight title for the AWE, having won the title at the very first event against Mario Tambakis, who will also be featuring on the card. And it's exciting. Mario is actually taking on a bit of an unknown quantity in Reichard Borman. So that is a very entertaining match with a big question mark about it. So I'm very excited to see that one.
Very, very excited. I think there's several matchups at the top end of the card which are definitely worth people's time and waiting for. I think that they're going to be blockbusters, almost each and every one of them. That Reichard Borman versus Mario Tambakis matchup, that's going to have arm wrestling fans salivating, because anybody who's been following the progress of the young South African Riker Borman over recent times is going to be, I don't think they'll be as surprised as perhaps Mario Tambakis will be. Now, we're a little bit privy to some chat and back and forth that's going on in the background amongst the athletes, and there's definitely there's a fault line appearing amongst the AWE superstars as to who will take away this matchup, whereas wiser heads early on would have suggested that Mario Tambakis has got this all covered. As the footage has been emerging of the young South African training there on the Gold Coast with some of the strongest arm wrestlers in the country, people are starting to think twice about their bold prediction of a Mario Tambakis victory.
Absolutely. Yeah, he has that unknown quantity. And to be able to walk in and hang with those guys, even to be able to not be absolutely wiped out and destroyed like I was going up to the Kingpins Club in the Gold Coast, in Brisbane. There's another club in the Gold Coast, the Powerhouse Club, also a fantastic club. But the Kingpins Club is where Reichard Borman is spending most of his time training with the likes of Lachlan Adair, Ryan Bowen, Marcus Itirai. There's 3 of the top guys in the country, and he's rubbing shoulders with these guys every week and holding his own and doing quite well. So, yeah, it's a mystery. It's almost like, is this the next superstar in the arm wrestling world? Well, he may be.
And for people that may be wondering how it is that a young Reichard has found his way onto the AWE card, perhaps you can fill people in with exactly how that did happen, because he's not ranked. He's previously not competed. We don't have much information on him. So how is it that he found himself on an AWE card?
Yeah, well, it was basically going through with Ryan Bowen. Ryan Bowen being one of the founders of the AWE.
He's a co-founder. Is he co-breather of air? He's a co-wearer of clothes.
Not in this very room.
No, but in another room.
That's right. Yeah, so Riker, I think he actually just went to one of the training sessions, and Ryan was like, who is this guy? He's unbelievably strong. And from that and a few different sessions and some work, they were like, this guy's got some massive potential, and to be able to put him on the card, it was such great potential that, because we have a junior title as well in the AWE, And I mentioned that because Reichard's only 20 years old and the cutoff is the 21 and under for the junior. And I said, what about the junior? And he's like, no, he's way, way past that. It's like, oh, wow. Okay.
What do we have on our hands here? So which got us excited about what the potential of this young man might well be. And so we started to throw some names together. You know, who could we put young Reichard up against in order to test his mettle, and but also it's a hard matchup because he's 20 years old, but he's also nearly 125 kilos and about 6'4". I mean,
and he's always been jacked.
He's always been jacked from his earliest memories. He's been jacked, and so he's been on the biltong since a very, very young age, and so he's made his way out of South Africa. He's now 97% protein. If you put a knife into him and you took a sample, he's a different type of human being, and I guess there's. Every now and again, maybe once in a generation, you come across somebody who has all of the attributes, who may be the Muhammad Ali, who may be the Conor McGregor, and maybe young Reichard is that athlete in arm wrestling.
It could be. The interesting thing is that he's originally come over from South Africa to Australia to compete in rugby. And having an injury, and then it's like he's sort of found his way into the arm wrestling world. And it's so exciting for me that there's positions now where people can have that as their career choice in terms of if you're an athletic person. It's not that there's only rugby, there's only football, there's only, cricket or those sorts of things, basketball, American football, you're dominating sports, but it's like arm wrestling is an actual viable option now, which is just incredible to see that people could say, you know what, I think this is the thing for me.
I'm going to be a professional arm wrestler.
Yeah.
And I guess further to that, if you're watching this on TikTok and you're making a comment, I'll also jump on because we're living this on our AWE Facebook page. This is on Hollywood Matt Connelly's TikTok, and I can see some comments pop up, but we just can't read them, but we can
almost read them, but it's a little bit too far away.
It's just we just got you on the other side there because our software isn't enabling us to stream on TikTok simultaneously. So if you do want us to join the discussion, head over to the AWE Facebook or onto the YouTube channel and jump onto the live there. And what it is that makes and whilst you're there, drop us a like and certainly subscribe to the channels. We appreciate your support. Helps us get our message out there and let everybody know what's going on in the world of AWE.
Should we say hello to the people that have jumped in on the chat here?
Let's say hello.
All right. Well, we've got Dave Fairbairn who he's saying, wow, it's getting longer. And I'm hoping that he's talking about the intro and nothing else. But congratulations on the new job for you, Dave. He is actually taking over from the job that I was doing at Derrimut Gym. So,
congratulations, Dave.
And if you didn't want people to know, I won't tell anybody.
It's on the down low here,
That's
Dave.
Right.
Yeah.
And Danking Us Arm Wrestling, of course, that's Taryn Broad from here in Adelaide in South Australia.
Taryn's an AWE superstar and just recently took on Adam Laura, who's one of the top-ranked super heavyweights in Australia and walked away victorious to many people's surprise. But Dankus is a rising star in the world of arm wrestling, and he's watching it as he trains. God bless you, and we certainly hope that he drops in on the chat at some stage. Benji Mack,
another one of the greats that follows arm wrestling streams, and you will see him on every single stream. There's a group of about 6 or 7 guys that any time an arm wrestling stream pops up, they are there.
The notifications ready to go.
They're in the chat, and there he is. He says that he likes the clean studio setup that we have here.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Benji. We've put a lot of effort into putting a T-shirt on a hanger behind us.
But very high production values here at AWE.
He is going to sleep, so it must be at the other side of the world. I'm guessing that either that or you're having a very, very early night. It's only 5 o'clock here in Adelaide, South Australia.
Yeah.
And we've had a very special mention here. My wife is actually saying she sent a love heart with a dot underneath. I'm guessing that's a good thing. So, yes, hello to you, Tegan.
That's Mrs. Hollywood.
That's Mrs. Hollywood.
Bye, Tegan. Thanks for
we've got some more. Since I was reading those out, we've had some more people pop in. We've got Brendan I should slap myself
Brandon.
right now. Brandon Chan, who is one of the regulars down at the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club, and he was there on Sunday looking in fine form. He's definitely improved. One of the interesting things happened in the chat this week, we have our own little chat group, which you're obviously a part of, but there's hundreds of messages that go through that thing every day. And somebody put up a video of Brandon when he first started from maybe 2 years ago or something, or 3 years ago. And seeing the difference from where he was then and where he is now is just, it's incredible to see the progression that people can make on the table.
Yeah, Brandon's a real powerhouse and got a big future in arm wrestling. Big guy,
Yeah.
120 or so kilos. He's a powerful unit. So
he's your number one fan, he said. And I said, is you're the only fan?
That'll make you number one at the moment. So the other guy called me David Cockbridge. So yeah. I thought he was my number one, but there you go.
Yeah, maybe he meant David Stockbridge.
The alternative. So Jack Smedon, g'day. I hope you're well, mate.
I'll jump back to that. I'll quickly say goodbye to
Social
Benji,
1 a.m. in Benji's land.
Yeah, he's in Southern California, so he's heading off to sleep. But that's cool. We will see you next time, my friend. Yep. And Jack Smedon, who is another regular down at the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club. This is peak time for arm wrestlers that are in Adelaide,
clocking
which
off.
Is great. And Jack had 2 back-to-back super matches each Sunday in a row.
Very impressive.
And then lining up a trilogy. Him and another newer arm wrestler called Neo have had a left hand and a right hand, and now they're going to do both at the same time.
Excellent. Very good.
So this one here, we've got my cousin actually looking jacked, Connelly. Well, maybe that's a different person looking jacked. But thank you very much, true. Ben. Haven't seen you for quite a while, so nice to see you pop up on the comments here. And we are talking about our big event that will be coming up in the start of July the 2nd.
I'll try and read out a couple of comments on TikTok. I might just try and get a little bit close for you, so you can. I'm just going to pop off air for a moment. There we go.
All right. Well, yes, Mr. Stockbridge is going to walk his way over to be able to read the comments that are popping up on TikTok, because we can see that there are people there and they are writing stuff, but we can't quite read it from the distance that we're sitting over here. But Dave's going to do the magic scroll, and I'm hoping he's not going to end the stream accidentally, which is always a risk. But we've got Brandon Chan who's saying thanks very much. And Fueled by Arm Wrestling, who is that's Trent, I believe, that has his own page there, and he's an arm wrestler based in Victoria, who's doing very nicely. And he also says Stockbridge. He's a fan of the Stockbridge.
And really the comment was just on TikTok there, was just to say, great to see a lovely couple celebrating Pride Month together.
Oh,
I think they're relating to us.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's great. We are married, but 2 different people.
And love is arm wrestling, by the way. So
we do hold each other's hand quite regularly. Cameron Grates is having some issues with the stream, so hopefully nobody else is. But that's Talia Grates' dad. Is that right?
No.
No,
it's not.
It's not. Well, I'm wrong completely, so forget what I just said. It's not. What's Talia Grates' dad's name? It's Josh. Josh, of course. Yep. Another slap for me. That's 2 so far. We've been getting it wrong. But thank you everyone for jumping in and saying hello. This is great to have. We've got 13 people in on our streams combined, and we've got Brandon Chan who's saying that Dave has gone off to kill the imposter named Stockbridge. He has indeed, and he was no.
I've already sent my agents. That's fine.
That's right. Or is this the real Stockbridge? Right?
We don't know. We just don't know.
He might have come back as you. I don't know. You did leave the room. You did walk slightly differently when you came back in, so maybe it's he had his way. But we're very excited about our upcoming event, and we'd like to hear. We ask some opinions of people for certain matches.
Indeed. I think first and foremost, Ryan versus Artem. So Ryan versus Artem is it's the battle of the YouTubers. And so how do you see that one shaping up? What are your opinions on that? Now, all of these are first to 4.
Yes.
So how do you call it? What are the scores? How do you think it's going to go down? Ryan versus Artem. This is a big matchup. I mean, Ryan and Artem haven't tested themselves against each other since before COVID, I believe.
Mhm.
So, and both have developed a lot since then. Of course, Ryan's had quite the transformation over the last 12 or so months, almost putting on 25 kilos now. I mean, it's quite extraordinary. And Adam's never looked more jacked than what he does right now. He's looking in formidable condition. Of course, Adam's got to fly all the way from America. So to what extent does the flight affect him? Dehydration, poor oxygen, steps off the plane. Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite tiring. That's and the radiation, all of these things, have an effect on an elite level athlete. And then he's landing here at the opposite time of year. So he's coming out of a northern suburb, northern hemisphere summer, and then he's
the northern suburbs.
And if he's unlucky, and then he's landing here in Australia in the middle of winter, the depths of winter. We don't know what the weather's going to be like, and he could. So he's stepping out of the fine weather conditions of South Florida, I believe.
Is that right?
And coming, which is always quite temperate and tropical, and regardless. And then he's going to be stepping off the plane. It's going to be cold. It's going to be blustery.
We're going to be throwing things at him.
We're going to make it difficult for him. This is why they call it home ground advantage, of course. And Ryan's going to be sleeping on a bed of feathers and
massage the whole time.
Be permanently. There's somebody just working on his traps just to make sure that all of the nerves, everything's just firing for the big matchup. So he's going to be well hydrated. We're going to have him permanently on an IV from the time that he lands in Adelaide. Yep. So we're going to have prime Ryan, and we're going to have slightly tired Artem, maybe.
Right. He's flying all the way to the airport. He's flying out. I believe it's Jacksonville in Florida. And when I booked the flight, it was this one to this one, to this city to there, to over there, one night there. It was such a long trip. But to get here, because the event is on a Sunday here in Australia, it will be streamed. Will be streamed live on pay-per-view on YouTube, on Ryan Burban's channel, and a few other people's channels as well. But if you are based in the United States, it will be Saturday night for you guys there, because of the time difference. But because of the time difference, trying to get the flight schedule, it's like, okay, well, I want him here, I'd say Saturday, at least by Saturday. So he's got time. And then it's like, he needs to leave by Tuesday.
Get him out of here.
So because you lose a day, and it was like, well, that's a joke, but I think literally I had to book him from Wednesday, and he gets here Friday afternoon or something like that. So he will have 48 hours rest recovery.
He'll get to enjoy some of the massaging himself. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Nah.
Did you see what happened with Artem? He almost got taken out by his training equipment.
I did see that. That's so the curse of Ryan Bowen. I think it popped up in the comments just a short time ago. Yes, the curse of Ryan Bowen strikes once again, and with the equipment almost falling on top of him, taking him out.
Oh, and it was like this close to, I think he was doing some sort of some pulling exercises, and like, it must have been too strong for the equipment, or maybe it wasn't bolted in. The whole stack has come flying at him. He's definitely too strong. The whole stack has come flying towards his face, and literally it hit the table that he was on, and it stopped before his face, about this close. It's just like, oh my God, he would have been cleaned up by that.
So we're very, very thankful that Artem doesn't have a snowmobile, and but no, we're very, very thankful that of course Artem escaped injury, and look forward to him coming here to Australia on for this event, which is 2nd of July in Australia. But if you're trying to work out the times and you're in America, 1st of July for you guys. So if you're buying the pay-per-view, which you can on either Artem's channel or on Ryan Bowen's channel, you can jump on and register for that. Well, just be mindful that the dates might differ depending on which channel you're following. You might get a little bit confused, but that's only because we live in a different time zone.
That's right. We're on the other side of the world.
For this one.
And we're way ahead. We are a day ahead. So things happen here before they happen over there.
So it's like living in a time machine.
It is. It is. Have you flown internationally? Obviously, what's weird is say you take off and it's just going tonight, right? And it's like the night just starts falling as you go up in the air, and then like an hour later, the sun comes up again. You're like, what?
Why?
Yeah, it's just weird because obviously you're pushing around the other side of the time zones. But man, that's strange. Yeah. So I'm flying to Canada, and it took me 2 days to get there. I left on a Monday. Took me 2 days to get there, and I had an overnight in Japan. I got there, and it was Tuesday. I was like, no, this is not right. It should be Wednesday. I've done 2 days of travel, and it was Tuesday. It was so confusing.
So how much do you think that'll be a disadvantage for Artem traveling so far?
I'd
And of course, the same for Jordan Sill. He'll be competing against Lachlan Adair.
That's right. Yeah, I'd say Artem's probably used to it. I mean, he's competed around the world internationally. I don't think it'll be as big a deal for him. He's a consummate professional, and he's been involved in the arm wrestling world for 10 plus years, the same as Ryan. So he'll know his methods that he needs to do when he travels overseas to make sure that he's in adequate fitness.
Well, I'll be very interested to find out what perhaps some of his hacks and tips and tricks when it comes to traveling so far to compete, because it really is a fly in and fly out mission. Todd Hutchings, of course, was on our podcast just a week or so ago and was explaining some of his preparation as he comes into a big match like this, and he's very much a fly in fly out guy. He's not hanging around. He's coming for the match up, and then he's jumping on the first available flight and heading straight home. So all very much business. He considers his travel the rest, whereas a lot of people feel like they've got to recover from the travel. But if you're Todd Hutchings, there's no such considerations. The travel is indeed the rest. The comments are coming in thick and fast on TikTok. We do apologise if you are tuning into the live on TikTok that we might not be able to capture all of your messages, although we can see that they're flashing up. We might actually try and get our young assistant here in the studio to read those for us. Mate, if you wouldn't mind just coming on, just on the screen right there in front of you.
The phone?
On the phone. If you can
You've
have a look.
confused him by saying that.
Yeah. We've got some of the comments that are popping up there. We just can't see them. If you can
they're all we hate you and you suck.
Is it in the top right-hand corner?
I don't know. I haven't done the live on TikTok previously, so I'm not sure. But hopefully you'll press something that messes everything up for us. And then we get to play.
Can you see where those comments are just popping up on the right side of the top screen? They're emerging from. What's going on there? And that changes.
Oh, we've got a finger on the screen. There it is. Oh no, you've ruined it for everyone. It's fine. It's not a pressure thing, right? If you don't feel comfortable doing it, it's all good. We are.
No, there's pressure. There's pressure.
Oh, there's pressure.
That's right. So as our young assistant checks through the comments there on TikTok, we'll also refer back to the big screen. Josh Barker, who will be competing at AWE 2, who is a superstar at AWE 1. We are going great, Josh. There's a link in the comments if you wish to jump on board and share some of your thoughts about AWE 2. You're more than welcome to, of course, mate. It's there and in the chat, so feel free to jump on to the live should you so wish. So we've got Jordan Sill and Lachlan Adair. I mean, that's a big event. Now, there's not a title on the line there, but you feel like this is a step for both athletes towards ultimately either the heavyweight title or the Intercontinental belt.
Definitely.
Lachlan Adair is the top ranked arm wrestler in Australia right now, and he's enjoyed recent success on the table. So he's definitely got momentum coming into this matchup. Practice looks good, looks strong. He looks great when he's training at home as well. I don't think we've ever seen a stronger version of Lachlan Adair coming into an event. So how does this bode for Jordan Sill?
This will be interesting. This will be it's hard to pick a winner, which is exactly what you want when you've got a matchup, because going into it, it's like, yeah, but this guy has these skills, and yeah, but this guy has these skills, and there's no clear cut, oh yes, this is a squash match, this guy's definitely going to win. it's going to be a very big. This is the Dave Stockbridge of the Year Award trophy. There, it's going to be a very big step up for Lachlan Adair going into international matches, which is fantastic for him. Which is what we want to see. He has had another previous big match on the world stage against Todd Hutchings. He has competed.
I mean, that's such a big step up, though, from regional competition and to on the stage with Todd Hutchings.
Yeah,
you know,
there's not much of a larger jump that you can make to go from that to Todd. I mean, Todd's one of the best in the world, and he will be featuring in the main event as well. But Jordan has been around. He's been around for a long time. He's very experienced, very competitive, and he looks phenomenal at the moment as well. He put up a photo of his forearm earlier today, and he's looking very lean, very, very, very powerful. So it's going to be an exciting match. Lachlan Adair's forearm. Anytime anyone references a big forearm, I bring up a photo of Lachlan Adair. I think his forearm, the size of it is the biggest out of anybody that I've seen. And I've been watching bodybuilding, huge bodybuilding fan for my entire life. And when Lachlan was standing there was one photo he was doing this in something, and I was like, my God, that was the biggest forearm I've ever seen.
Well, I think in terms of measurements, we're over 18 inches in the forearm. It's just
the forearm,
just in the forearm, 18 inches. I mean, that's
that.
And you did that's that in forearm. Yeah, there's quite an ominous post that Ryan has got out there just over the last 24 hours or so of Marcus Satirai, Lachlan Adair, himself, and Reichard Borman, just doing the old arm wrestling pose, and it's a scary thing.
Yeah, that's I think the goal for the Kingpins Club is to occupy all top 10 spots in Australia. That's their goal. Is that they are confident that their group and their club is strong enough that they could take over all top 10 spots, and they might be able to do it. They've got some amazing guys up there.
We're going to see what the Sydney Spartans have to say about that, of course. So at AWE2, we've got two of the biggest clubs here in Australia who'll be competing against each other. Riker Borman, who is a new competitor in the arm wrestling space, of course, up against Sydney Spartans in the form of Mario Tembakis. And so there's some interclub, interstate rivalry going into AWE 2 as we near July the 2nd.
Josh Barker says that he could have out-angled all of them in that photo.
Yeah, I believe that as
well. Josh's forearm is probably the freakiest in terms of his body size, and then the forearm is just, it looks like it belongs on a completely different person.
Yeah. For those people that don't believe in alien life, just look at Josh's forearm, and you might change your belief system.
I think the forearm weighs as much as his body does.
At least 50% of his body weight can be found in the right forearm. So it's a 35 kilo forearm there.
We'll see him competing as well. He's going to go up against Thomas Fitzy from New Zealand.
Thomas Fitzy
trains with our main event, Matawaringi Hedda Morris. And Thomas Fitzy is a phenomenal athlete coming out of New Zealand, and it's going to be a big test for Josh Barker to see if his style will outmatch the New Zealander. But Josh's style obviously being that explosive press, and it's very exciting to see if people can figure out, how do I stop that? What can I do? What is it? Just an unstoppable move? And he's on his top of his game at the moment.
Yeah, both athletes have an explosive press, a very, very, they've got those fast twitch muscle fibers and just straight from the ready go. There's
the opposite of both of us.
Yes, as it turns out. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, because you've essentially got two guys that have got the same philosophy, the same shape, and who will be running a very similar strategy in their matchup. And I know that Josh has been yearning to test himself against the best international talent that's out there. And Giannis was originally billed to compete against Josh Barker, and the Jedi was not. and so Thomas Fitzy has filled that void beautifully. He's the number one in New Zealand. He gives Josh Barker a taste of competition at the highest level, at the international level, and of course prepares him for bigger things on the international stage. So very much looking forward to that matchup between those two young men, both at a critical time of their career development, both looking to stamp their authority all over their weight class and to assert themselves on the international stage. It's quite exciting.
Oh man, it's every match on this card I'm super excited about. Even there's Mario Tembakis and Artem Taranenko on the left arm as well.
Well, this is something we haven't spoken so much about, the left arm matchups. Of course, you know, the right hands they get all of the publicity, but Mario Tembakis is very handy on left and has proven himself to be at the highest levels of the sport on this side of the world, and in traveling around the US, feels like he's got the measure of several of the top ranked competitors in North America as well. So very exciting for Mario to once again be able to test himself against Artem, who's got a great reputation on left and has been a giant killer. And wherever he turns up, he's taken out the vast majority of the field. So how he goes against an informed Mario Tembakis is to be seen.
Yeah, what's exciting about it, and it does add another element to both Mario and Artem, because if they're facing each other on left arm, they do have right arm matches later in the night. We did schedule their match on left as early as possible to give them as much rest time. But do you think that might influence their going into the right arm matches at all?
I don't know. I think that. I think there's potential for that, and I think this is something interesting to review moving forward, because I'm always my preference is to always see athletes primed for whatever the task might be, and it's if the athletes feel that they're a lot of arm wrestling athletes are very much used to the tournament format, and so competing left and right, they don't feel to be too much of an encumbrance. But I think when we're talking super matches and we're talking the bright lights and the big stage, there's other factors to take into account. There's a lot of pressure walking into these big matchups. And I think in the fullness of time, we might find that athletes will choose one arm to compete on and be less likely to compete on both. We're thankful that athletes are giving both a go on this particular card, and it's great to have somebody of Artem's caliber who can compete at the highest level, both right and left hand against amongst the best in the world. But I can't help but think that there is some diminishing factor there for athletes that give it their all on right and then have to come back half an hour later and try to do the same again on left. So now in this case, both Mario and Artem are training on are performing on right hand first and then coming back for the left hand. So
other way around, sorry. So they're having their left arm match against each other early in the card?
Oh, earlier in the card and then coming back. Sorry, the other way. So it would be very interesting to see how that I think the longer that early match drags on, for Mario, the easier it's going to be for Riker, and the easier it's going to be for Ryan.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Because, you want to take the opportunities when you've got an international superstar like Artem Taranenko coming over to Australia, and it's like, I'd love to have a match with him. Well, he's actually booked already on right. What can I do in left? Yeah, okay, we'll see if he's interested. Yeah, he'd like to do in left as well. Fantastic, we'll set it up. So you do get the opportunity to have a match, and but can it be to your own detriment if you decide that, hey, I'm going to compete twice on the card, or maybe he's just that confident that he can have a left hand match and he'll be completely fine going into the right.
Yeah, I think if you've got a ranking system that delivers opportunities based on where somebody's progressing in the ranks, for instance, and it's a very strict system where there's points that are given for a win and there's points that are given for depending on the score, and it builds into the mathematics. I think what that'll lead to ultimately is athletes not taking that chance. But that's not how we do things at AWE. I think we will be releasing rankings at some point in the not too distant future. But the reality is that those rankings won't be the be all and end all when it comes to the opportunities that those athletes have, because we'd love to have, say, an unseeded athlete like Reichard be able to have that opportunity to compete against somebody who's highly favoured, like Mario, for instance, and satisfy our own curiosity as much as anything as to how a matchup might play out like that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to title matchups, there's a lot to be said for momentum and form leading into a belt match. So, I think if athletes feel like they're constricted because the rankings are going to determine what opportunity they get next, they're going to be less likely to take those casual opportunities. But from an entertainment perspective, which is what we're all about, we want to see the more great matchups. And if the athletes are happy to do it on left hand, great. But we certainly don't want to put a structure in place that's strict and then means that these guys feel like, oh, well, I went in and I was a bit tired by the time I got in there on my right after competing in left, and, I lost a matchup that I think I would have otherwise won. Well, we don't want those athletes to feel like, well, that was a misstep in their career and perhaps loses them further opportunities into the future.
No, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah. I do see your question there, Josh. I will get to that in a second. I just wanted to finalize that point. But yeah, it is an interesting aspect with rankings, and as I always do, I liken everything to the UFC, and they did not have a ranking system for a very long time in their 30-year career, and to good measure, because the fans knew who the champion was, and then the UFC didn't have to follow who's the number one contender, who's the number two, they put the matches on that people wanted to see. And there was no sort of like, oh, this guy's got to work his way up to the top 10, blah, 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 blah. It was like there was an idea of this is pretty much a consensus as to what the rankings are, but the UFC is not officially saying that. But then they can at any point say, we're going to give the title shot to this person, or we're going to put these two matches together. They do have rankings now, but the way they've gone about it is quite clever, because it's not the UFC who's actually created their own ranking system. It is determined by 30 different press publications. And so 30 different reputable people from the media submit, after each event, they submit what they think the rankings should be. And then it's aggregated and tallied up, and that is what the official rankings is. So it's informed people across 30 different media outlets that have created that system. It is not the UFC just saying, this is what the rankings are, and we're going to make it whatever it is. It is an informed outside element. So that way it does put the emphasis back on those organizations. And, if somebody's ranked 6th, it's like, well, 30 reputable people think that he should be ranked 6th. So if you think he shouldn't be, maybe you're wrong.
It's no bad way of doing it. I mean, I think it'd be a great thing for AWE to reach out like to Pradeep and ask him. What do you think Ryan Bowen's ranked?
Pradeep or Lachlan?
Either. I thought they were the same person. Just no bad idea. Maybe that's how we go forward.
Should we answer Josh's question?
Let's get on to Josh's question. So Josh's question is, guys, do you think winning fast is bad for viewers, promotion, and for entertainment purposes? What do you think about that, Hollywood Matt Connelly?
There's two factors at play in that. And one is that the ideal situation in any competitive atmosphere is you have a back and forth war that people are invested in, that they're every single moment that they're hanging by the seat of their chair, hanging by whatever that saying is.
hanging by the seat of their chair.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm going to run with that one.
That's what it is. And
hanging from the rafters, sitting
let's go with that.
On the edge of their pants.
Edge of their seats. And you're seeing, say somebody takes over early in a match. Let's use arm wrestling as the example, since that's what we're talking about. So if somebody off the go is in a dominant position, but then the other person starts working their way back, and then it's a back and forth, and you can really start becoming, the audience is going, I don't know who's going to win. This is crazy. And those elements are fantastic to see, and it can be the opposite effect when somebody just blasts through the other person. Even though the athletes might be quite competitive, if somebody just destroys the other person 4-0 or 5-0, it could have been anybody out there. But the difference is if that person who is able to destroy people has that reputation that this is my thing and I'm just going to blast through everybody. It was like Mike Tyson in the 80s and 90s.
So the big question is who stops that
Yeah.
person?
And if you are able to stop that person and
if you're the Buster Douglas,
if you're able to, because people would say, okay, well, Mike Tyson, I remember people saying like, oh, there's no point even buying for the event. The event's going to be over in 20 seconds, you know. But the people that wanted to see it became a thing. It was like, how long can somebody last against him? Can somebody even get out of the first round? And because he was so dominant, and then for somebody to be able to do that, and then not only do that, but then come back and win, Buster Douglas, that became a phenomenal story. So it really depends on the circumstances, and if you've got people that are quite competitive, usually you won't just get a blast 4-0, you know, unless the other person just is just blown out of the water from technique, or they didn't analyze their opponent, or they didn't train hard enough, or they just were completely outmatched.
Yeah, well, and the reason why Josh is asking this, of course, is because that's normally how he wins, in seconds and with a press. And so Josh is probably not asking for a friend on this occasion. He's probably just asking whether or not, you know, showboating or holding on, or whether there's any benefit. And I completely concur with Hollywood Matt Connelly on this occasion. I think if you're that athlete that's quite naturally easily taking care of your opponents, you're able to press through, then yeah, maybe for that particular matchup, it's not the most viewable thing in the world. But when it comes time and you've got somebody who's competitive, or let's say this, say in Josh Barker's situation, who's got a formidable press and does finish matches typically very, very quickly, and seldom finds himself in a war. Then the question then becomes, well, who stops Josh Barker doing that? And all it takes is somebody from Kazakhstan to stick up their hand and say, you know what? Anyone from Kazakhstan, I'd imagine.
Anyone at all.
Yeah, he steps up and says, you know what? I think I've got Josh Barker's measure. I think I'm going to stop him. I'm going to hold him in the middle, and then I'm going to press him.
Is that what that would sound like?
That's a very, very good Kazakh accent. All it takes is somebody to say, hey, I'm going to take care of Josh. I'm going to do to him what others, and then it builds anticipation for that match. And if that athlete can take care of Josh Barker, great. If not, well, Josh Barker's star continues to rise, and the question continues to be asked: who is out there that can do to Josh Barker what Josh Barker's been doing to everybody else? And so I think for that matchup, you know, you might have people go, wow, that was all over pretty quickly, and that wasn't that competitive. But if that happens 2 or 3 or 4 times, all of a sudden the world's waken up to Josh Barker's a superstar who can stop this kid. And that's when, you know, we've got an international match in front of thousands of people, and who want to find out the answer to that question as well. So for the matchup, maybe not, but I think for longevity of the athlete, I think it's no bad thing.
Biggest moment, one of the biggest moments in UFC history: Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey completely undefeated, beating everybody. First round armbar, over and over and over and over. You knew what she was going to do. Who can stop her? And Holly Holm was the person to go out and do it. And it is one of the greatest moments because of that reason. And it wouldn't have meant as much if Ronda didn't go into that match being completely undefeated, unchallenged, and being able to just walk through everybody. And now all of a sudden, somebody beat her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what? You know, unbelievable.
Exactly.
So those elements are what you'd be looking at. Josh has said, would I ever compete on an AWE
it's a very,
card?
very good question.
Yeah, well, you'd have to find somebody really weak. I think that with the AWE, we want to put the absolute best matches on that we possibly can with the best athletes. My skill level is definitely not at that level.
Do you think you could be a women's champ, though?
No. No, I would get beaten there as well. No, I love the sport and I do everything I can to help promote it. And I'm not terrible. I'm
No,
I'm
you're
being
better
humble,
than I am.
but I'm not at the level that it takes to be any of the guys that are on the AWE. So yes,
Yeah,
we'll let the best actually be seen, and I'll run and hide in the shadows.
Genuinely, there's a big step up from the club level to AWE, and as we're fond of saying, there are levels in this game, and just the after Paul and just gripping up some of these talented young men that are on the tables at AWE events is enough to demonstrate that point.
Absolutely. Josh says, thanks for asking the question. And sometimes he thinks his style isn't as entertaining and he wants to try to make it a war for show. Well, you don't have to do that, Josh. You keep doing what you're doing. I would love to see if you would cut together a highlight package of your press wins and just all it is just you, bang, getting the win, bang, getting the win. And maybe have a minute worth of that and then say, who's actually going to be out there to be able to stop me? You know, that would be something to see.
That is something awesome. Yeah. No, we love your style, Josh, and you just you keep powering along, and I think that's what people will want to see. Not only will you get people that want to see you win, you'll start to get some people that want to see you lose, and that's great as well. As long as there's attention coming your way, and there's people out there that think there are a chance of beating you, then you've got people there that are interested in Josh Barker and interested in the AWE, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a phenomenal skill that you have there. That press is just unbelievably fast, and the way you can jump in on that and jump on your body weight behind your arm is just phenomenal. So, yeah, for people that do figure out how to win against you, they are, next level good. So, well done to them because I know how good you are.
I'm just going to. We were talking about young Riker Borman just a little bit earlier, and the secret to his strengths.
Oh,
yes.
Have you got a secret that you're going to go and get? Is it Dave Stockbridge? Oh no, here it is.
Here we go.
Well, what have we got in the box?
What have we got in the box? We've got some good meat from our friends at Barbell Foods. So Barbell Foods are
You've made it impossible for you to lift that box now because the microphone's in the way. There it is. You made that look very difficult.
There we go.
It is a very light cardboard box.
It's actually empty. Because I've eaten all the beef jerky that was in there. And biltong. So we've got, of course, Barbell Foods.
Yeah.
Barbell Foods.
There's a packet over there. Should I go into packet?
Yeah, it comes in packets, and you can also get the 1 kilo steaks, which you can slice up yourself, and which is my preferred way of consuming biltong. But for convenience sake, you get these 200-gram packets, and they're already delicately shaved into tasty morsels of biltong goodness. So I prefer the I prefer the chili. Now, what's the difference between beef jerky and biltong? Well, biltong is it's air dried. As opposed to jerky, which is usually dried in an oven. And of course, you've got about 47% protein thereabouts, I think we looked at. Don't quote me on that. It's some unusually high percentage of protein.
Yeah.
Nearly 40%.
Sure.
Yeah. And
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It actually is. Yeah. And so Barbell Foods. Now, if you want to sample some of this stuff yourself, you can do so, and you can support AWE and arm wrestling at the same time by simply and not only that, save yourself some money. So you can if you type in the code arm wrestler and once you're on the website, then you'll get yourself a discount. I think it's about 10% thereabouts.
Yeah.
May even be more, but you head over there, and Barbell Foods will look after you. They'll post it to your door. All you got to do is
open the door
and eat the biltong and get stronger. So thank you to our friends at Barbell Foods. Jump on the website, order yourself some now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And there'll be one of the sponsors that we've got for the AWE event coming up. We've also got Apeopoly, and they are one of the sponsors that it's like a guerrilla version of Monopoly, is it?
Yeah, well, Apeopoly is very much like Monopoly, but for those that are
really hairy. I love bananas.
Those that are following the Bored Ape NFT series. So Bored Ape is the
completely wrong.
most popular NFT in the world right now. So you can if you jump online right now and you look at the Bored Ape NFTs, you'll see that they're selling between 100 and 300,000 US.
Wow.
I know, absolutely unbelievable. And you'll get the chance to win one of those if you buy an Apeopoly game board.
Also get the game as well.
You'll be able to pre-register very, very soon. We'll have some links available. But for $50, you go into the draw to win one of these NFTs, one of the hottest NFTs in the world right now.
Crazy.
So
that's a $300,000 prize.
Could well be. Well be. So we're very, very proud to have Apeopoly on board. But Apeopoly are on board giving away an NFT worth between $100,000 and $300,000. And all you got to do is pre-register for the game, and you'll get it delivered to your door once it's ready, and then you'll have your chance to get that NFT.
You get the biltong at the same time.
Well, you probably get the biltong delivered earlier.
Oh yes, that's true.
And then that'll sustain you, get you stronger, and then
that's right. Yeah, you'll be in sustenance. Will be ready to go when the Apeopoly ships, and you'll be able to play the game with your family. It is a good fun game as well as the fact that you do go in the running of winning for $50, is it?
For $50, it's going to be about $50. Yeah.
So you think like those big lottery things, and the odds of winning are greatly in your favor here to potentially win $100,000 to $300,000 prize.
And we would love an AWE fan to be walking away with that prize. It would be absolutely fantastic.
That's right.
We would love nothing more than that. So if you've been following the Bored Ape series and you want one of those NFTs yourself, well, AWE will be giving you that chance through our friends there at Apeopoly. And Bunsters are proudly sponsoring the AWE2 event as well. So Bunsters are purveyors of hot sauces. So if you do get your barbell foods biltong delivered and you want to season it yourself, where you can get your Bunsters hot sauce on there. So while
you're playing Apeopoly, maybe.
yeah, that's right. So play the game.
Yes.
You're in the chance to win. So
you
it's
won't
a
be
good
able to speak
investment
because your mouth will be on fire.
You got the biltong, and then you got the shit the bed sauce on top. It's absolutely perfect, and that's actually the name of the sauce. So that's available both here in Australia and in the US. It's on shelves in the US right now. So Bunsters shit the bed sauce, you can get it. Check it all out. It's in the US, and I believe they've also got a mail order system here. So if you can't find it at your local supermarket, you can get in touch with the guys at Bunsters, and they'll make sure that it lobs on your front doorstep.
We've just had a very special person pop into the chat here, the Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward, all the way from Melbourne, Victoria. Hello to you, sir. Thank you for popping in. What an absolute legend of the arm wrestling world this man is.
Indeed. Jake, we're really looking forward to catching up with you again very, very soon at the store, because I like it. So a big event, and we're pumped for AWE2. We're pumped for our new sponsors and supporters, Barbell Foods, and with their biltong, which is a spectacular product, Australian product as well. That's we love it. And Bunsters, a great Australian success story, making their way into the US. So for fans of the AWE, you can grab that if you're in the US right now, and try a little bit of something special and Australian at your next barbecue.
And Jake, if you did want to jump on, we are live. I can send you the link. Just let me know, and I'll put a comment in here that you're keen. I'll send you the link that you can jump in.
Just any sign, a wink, a nod, a wave, a comment.
Money, send some money.
Yeah,
we should buy some biltong, maybe.
And of course, the code for that is Arm Wrestler. Yes. So if you do go to the Barbell Meats website, Arm Wrestler, type that in.
That's right.
It's going to save you money.
We have tickets available for the AWE event now. Yes,
we do have tickets, so you can go to diamondbackfc.com and you can click on the page. Now there's a special code. There's a special code you'll need access to, and that's AWE2, I believe, is the code. And you'll be provided a special price. And by the way, there aren't too many tickets left, and so we would suggest that you head on over to diamondbackfc.com right now. Head over, put the little code in there, AWE2. Make sure that you get your little discount, and you'll get yourself a VIP ticket, Matt. But it's not just these spectacular matchups that you'll be getting access to at the McGarry Room at the Adelaide Oval. You'll also have access to the after pool.
Yeah, that's right. And that's going to be incredible because if you're a fan of arm wrestling and you're here in the position to come to Adelaide, you will get to get on the table after the event with some of the best names, the biggest names from around the world. Todzilla, Matawaringi, Head and Boris, Jordan Sill, Lachlan Adair. We've got our local guys, Lass Botha, and we've got Josh Barker who'll be there. We've got Thomas Fitzy. We've got an enormous array. Ryan Bowen, obviously, and Artem Charanenko. There's so many people that are incredible athletes that are going to be at this event, and you could get the opportunity. Well, you're not just you could, you will get the opportunity to go on the table and test your mettle against them after the event.
Absolutely, and so we've got the obviously the main event is going to be taking place between about 2 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. and then straight afterwards the after pool. And for people that are following the pay-per-views, or let's say you don't even buy the pay-per-view, but you're just keen to see what happened at the event, well, you'll be able to tune in after the event to the after pool, and that'll be hosted live by yourself, Hollywood Matt Connelly, I believe, and Ryan Bowen and some of the other AWE superstars will be joining you on the panel to discuss all things AWE, all things that had happened at the event, and also just share with you some of what's going on there at the after pool and some of the shenanigans that the athletes are getting up to post-event.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things that we learned from our first event, that after the event has finished, we would have loved to have continued to talk to the fans that were all online, that were all watching the event, and to provide a platform for them to just seamlessly move into. It's like, well, yes, the event is finished, and now we're going to talk about the event, and here we are. And anybody who can jump in on that, they don't have to have purchased the pay-per-view, but you'll find out the results of the matches. We'll discuss each one in length and detail, and you'll see the after pulling going on behind us. Hopefully we won't be struck by any beer cans or thrown, we can be heard over the screaming and yelling that's going on from behind us.
So Mrs. Arm Wrestler isn't feeling the best. Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler is not feeling the best. So Jake is on baby duties right now, so won't be joining us on the live. People better buy the pay-per-view. I'm sure people will come along and they'll support the pay-per-view, Jake. They'll love it. They'll want to be there. They'll want to see the results. So that's of course, follow the pay-per-view, jump onto, there'll be several channels. So
that's right.
This is one of the unique things about AWE is that you'll be able to tune into this event via the YouTube channel of your choice, in that athletes that have over 10,000 subscribers are able to live stream the event. And so they'll be able to jump on, and let's say you're a big fan of Artem, for instance. You don't think much of Ryan Bowen, but you love Artem. You think, you know what, I want to get behind Artem. I don't want to give my $8 to Ryan Bowen.
And he's not getting it.
And fair enough. Fair enough. Then you can just pay for the pay-per-view and follow Artem, and make sure that Artem's getting the benefit of your support there. And same with Todd Hutchings. So you're a big fan of Todd Hutchings, and you dislike Matawaringi, although it's hard to dislike Matawaringi. He's such a lovely bloke. But let's say you've got a thing against him. Well, you know what? You can just follow it on Todd's channel, and enjoy the event there. So that's one of the beautiful things. Got to get Jordan Davis on the card, and let's just say this has been a topic of conversation at AWE headquarters.
We'd love to have Jordan on the card. I believe he's in between training at the moment.
He's
I
on
think he's
hiatus.
yeah,
I
he's
think.
having a little break from the arm wrestling scene at this point in time, but he might be getting back into it. We would love to have him on the card if he was ready and available and keen and in form. And he said, "Hey, let's have a match, and can you find me an opponent?" Because Lachlan, so many Lachlans. Jordan is one of the
so many
best
Jordans.
guys. Yeah, that's right. He is a phenomenal arm wrestler.
Jordan is a phenomenal arm wrestler, and Jordan's a little bit like that band that's taking a break after their third album. But he'll come back bigger and stronger, I am sure. Still a chance, Psycho Mate. Well, we're keeping our fingers and toes crossed, because if that can happen, then the great Jake Ward can make his way to AWE2. We will consider ourselves blessed. So really looking forward to seeing you over here, Jake, if you can make it. But we understand life is busy for those that are globe trotting and calling some of the biggest arm wrestling events in the world. Also, all of those responsibilities associated with hosting such a busy YouTube channel. Really, if you do want to find out what's going on in the world of arm wrestling, there are a few better channels you can check out than the Aussie Arm Wrestler.
And he's in the middle of watching Bluey at the moment with his daughter. So
excellent,
much more important than what we're doing. That's for sure.
Indeed, I'm glad it's Bluey and not in the night garden or something.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh, this is one of the things when you're a parent, and if any young guys in your mid-20s who haven't experienced this yet, you will enjoy the hours of Channel 2's free entertainment of Bluey and then in the night garden at Sesame Street and Play School. And I've seen Frozen more times than any other movie that I've watched.
How many drugs do you reckon the people are on that did in the night garden and Teletubbies?
I think they're still on it.
Like LSD, like hard drugs.
They're still in the garden. Yeah. The show's finished. Guys, we're done. We're not filming it anymore. We're going to stay here. Oh, yes, absolutely. But no, it is a very exciting event coming up, and we can't wait to see all the fans that are going to turn up in person and to see what people's thoughts are from around the world that be purchasing the pay-per-view, hopefully purchasing the pay-per-view. And we will have a couple of matches that will be free to air leading into the pay-per-view as well, so people can get a taste of what the production and everything looks like.
Indeed.
And we'll be pushing them hard to, hey, if you really like this, you want to see the rest of the matches if they're about to come up. So
and a special shout out to Grant Dyer, is it Diet?
Diet.
Yeah. Grant Diet, who gave us a very warm review on Ryan's epic trailer for the event, and pointed out that maybe that's something that every promotion should be doing is a promo of that nature, and so we appreciate that, because we give that a lot of thought, and that's something that we also feel very, very strongly that perhaps some promotions could do more to promote the athletes and to create a bit more hype, and not just leave it up to the fans and the YouTube community to do that on their behalf. So we've really taken that on board and done all that we can at this stage to support the athletes in promoting themselves and making sure that they've got as much attention as is possible for their event.
One of the other elements that you discussed on last episode's podcast was that we will have the T-shirts. The T-shirts you can see behind us there, and it's mirrored. I always point the wrong way. That way. And the one I'm wearing here, which has names on the back, and I'll turn around so you can see it.
Yeah, there we go. Connelly,
that's the one. That's me. Those things will be available very shortly for each individual athlete, and the actual athlete will be able to receive the profits that go from that shirt. So if you buy a Todd Hudson shirt or a Josh Barker shirt, they'll actually receive the profit from that. So it goes directly to the athlete that you are supporting.
I'll tell you what we're going to do, and as a little promo, just what we're going into AWE2 for all of the fans and for the 11 people that are watching at the moment. So what we're going to do here, see, this is an AWE 1 competitor's shirt, as is the shirt just next to us here. It does not come with the
does
pecs.
Do that. It's weird. If you press this button, it seems to do this.
He has no control over this, by the way. This is like some kind of spasm. But this here is a Todd Hutchings AWE 1 shirt, which is... it's the only one of its kind in the world.
It is.
So I think what we're going to do is that we're going to offer this Todd Hutchings AWE one shirt, which has not yet been worn by Todd. I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can ask him to pop it on, and maybe he can wipe his brow with it after. But I think what we're going to do is that we're going to give this away to one of the AWE fans. So we're going to work out a way to get this out to people. This is a Todd Hutchings AWE. It's the only one in the world. So for sporting memorabilia fans, this is one to have in the pool room and on the top shelf.
Maybe if you pin Todd in the article.
That
T-shirt will be coming back here in the studio.
I think that's a great idea. I'll tell you what, to anybody who buys an AWE2 ticket, they'll go into the draw to win this. So if you buy a pay-per-view or you buy an AWE2 ticket to be there in person or on the pay-per-view, then you'll go into the draw to win this, signed by the great man himself, Hollywood Matt Connelly. No, and maybe even signed by Hollywood Matt Connelly.
I can sign it, but that'll diminish the value of it.
Todd Hutchings signed AWE one shirt because we do have new competitor shirts which will be released very, very soon. So there you have it, guys.
Is it not hanging back up? Is that?
I can probably do that. There we go. There we go.
This is the struggle. This is because you're trying to do it with one hand and leaning, and the cord is pulling your microphone and your headphones probably. Yeah. That's great. There we go. The struggle is real, ladies and gentlemen. The hanging of the shirt is taking place. We've got Josh Barker who says, get Todd to sign it. Yes, that is absolutely something we will get to happening. And Brandon Chan, who's still watching, the number one fan of David Stockbridge.
Thank God, there's one.
There it is. That's right. He'll take the shirt. Well, you're going to have to go into the draw. You'll either have to buy a ticket for AWE2 or the pay-per-view, and hopefully both, because I know that you will probably be there in person. And Luca says that's very cool, and thank you very much. We think it's very cool as well. And
I just made it up, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, well, it was good. We didn't discuss this on beforehand.
Should we discuss? Do you want to have a talk?
No.
Not
do whatever you want.
Not in front of the children. So yeah, so there you go. You can have this shirt. This that's hung.
I can have it.
That's hung proudly. Well, somebody out here can have it. Somebody buys a ticket. Right. You're not buying a ticket.
No, well,
you're disqualified.
I did actually buy the pay-per-view of the first event.
Oh, you bought your own pay-per-view?
Yes.
I refused.
Well, no, because I had obviously the video copy of it, but I wanted to see all the comments in the live stream because I'd watched it live. Obviously, we were there. I was commentating. And both Ryan and I had our phones sitting so that we could see the comments as they were popping up. But obviously you miss things because, you're busy in that. And I really wanted to see what people were thinking. And I was like, but the only way to do that is to be able to go back and to purchase it. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I'll buy it. It's my own thing.
Excellent.
Yes.
So yeah, there you have it. Come along to AWE2 or buy the pay-per-view, and you can be the proud recipient of the AWE1 Todd Hutchings shirt that's never been worn because Todd Hutchings didn't get to AWE1 due to that nearly fatal snowmobile incident.
Yeah, look out for it.
Yes.
Table IQ, who's Peter Westchenko from Sydney as well. He says, will there be testing? We said that there is testing.
There's definitely testing.
You must test positive to be able to compete.
And if you don't test positive,
talk to your dealer.
You got bad stuff. You got bad stuff. So, so that actually just answers that question.
Needs to get tested. Well, I'm not competing, Peter. I only do it for the fans. It's in the contract. It's not my decision.
Yeah,
it just has to happen.
Well, we did test Matt earlier, and he's about 33% beef jerky.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
biltong.
Yes, biltong. So, right. So
and George Barker
Asada approved.
Oh, Josh says that he'll purchase a pay-per-view just to win a shirt, despite the fact that he'll actually be competing on the card as well.
Well done, Josh.
Yeah. Well, you'll have your own shirt as well because you'll have your own AWE Josh Barker shirt, which people can buy. We will have the link set up. There'll be a store and people can support you if they're fans of you or any of the other athletes that are AWE athletes, and they'll actually get a percentage of the profits that goes through so they can support. That's one of the.
So Josh could fund his ticket purchase or his pay-per-view purchase by buying his own shirt.
Yes.
So if Josh buys his own shirt, he'll get like, I don't know, $20, takes 10, buys the pay-per-view and goes into the into the draw to potentially win the Todd Hutchings AWE shirt.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, all right. And he will walk away with his own AWE 2 shirt. And he does have an AWE 1 shirt of his own as well. He does.
So well, maybe Josh wants to offer that up as for charity or for something. No, he's keeping that. Dear Barker, will Josh be signing shirts too? We can, if somebody is keen on a Josh Barker signed shirt, we'll make sure that there's a couple of blank ones there for him to scribble on after the event and maybe once again wipe his brow. If that's your thing. So,
we'll check with the president.
If you do want some DNA. Yeah, but a lot of fans of Josh Barker out there, and we know that there'll be plenty of people who will want an AWE Josh Barker T-shirt, and the new match shirts, they are almost with the printers. So you'll be able to secure an AWE to competitor's shirt very, very soon, and you can be able to secure that through the AWE store.
Yeah, it is a treat to have your own shirt with your name on it, and it's very personalised. You feel like you're part of something. And we did that with the first AWE event. That you did a little ceremony sort of thing, and you called out each athlete, and here's your shirt, and welcome to the AWE. And I think that worked really well. It was something that it's like we really do appreciate you being here and part of this event. And here's the shirt, which is yours, and you keep that forever. Same with the championship belt. If somebody does win championship belt, they keep that belt forever. It is the title that goes up, and there's a belt each time. So if somebody's the current heavyweight title holder, like Gunter's Bykovs, and he happens to win again at this event, he will now be the owner of 2 belts. So,
he'll be collecting them. Yeah. So yeah, indeed. So we do our best to look after our athletes. And on that note, we'd like to thank the Hotel Grand Chancellor for accommodating our athletes. And as it turns out, AWE superstar Mario Tambakis has joined us on the live stream. Mario Tambakis, welcome to the podcast.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can definitely.
You can. All right. Good,
right.
Good.
It does look like you're ready to shoot into space with that setup there.
Oh, yeah. It's not too bad, is it? At least the fucking audio is clear. That's all that matters.
We've been highlighting your match that's coming up on July the 2nd, and we can't wait to see you going up against the young, unknown prospect of Reichard Borman. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he looks strong. Not going to lie. Like, I give him a lot of shit in chat. I'm not going to... That's a given. But he definitely looks strong, for sure.
Yeah, and for of course, most people tuning in won't be privy to some of the shit talk going on in the group chat at the moment. And Ryan Bowen's been certainly throwing it your way. And maybe just selectively releasing some training videos there also to lend a psychological edge to the South African newcomer. Any of these mind games, are they having any effect whatsoever on you, Mario?
Not on me, but everyone around me has been affected by it.
Have you seen the flip, the 25 kilo plate flip though, Mario?
Oh mate, it haunts me.
Is that the last thing you see before going to bed at night, or
pretty much? Yeah. Then I'm awake for the rest of the night. You know how it
goes. Oh, that's right. Well, we were saying that it is such an incredible challenge for somebody to step into the arm wrestling world and take on somebody of your caliber in their first ever sort of super match. I know we had something with Terence Opperman in
we don't know.
South Africa.
There's not a lot of evidence to suggest what that something
I
was.
don't know whether it was a match or...
Sorry?
Surely there is.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah, but to go
We've
against
not found it
yourself, yeah, absolutely. Well,
it's on the dark web. It's on the dark web.
Yeah,
you're gonna pay for it
too. Yeah, but we've highlighted the fact that he is an unknown quantity, and he's taking on one of the best in Australia for sure. And that's where I think when I sent you the message originally of like, hey, would you like a match with him? You weren't that interested. You're like, if I have to,
Yeah.
surely is something.
I'm right. There was nothing.
You got anybody better?
Yeah, it's
You
got
got
to be
anybody
somebody.
Give me somebody who can flip a 50-kilo plate, and I'll think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, that's right. That should be the new standard.
But it is hard. I think a lot of people forget how old you really are, because you've seemingly been at the top of the game for the last 4 or 5 years. You've been a constant fixture at the top of the table here in Australia,
It's
and
the
you've
beard.
and and you've got the beard of a 47-year-old man.
Yeah.
And
100%.
but you've and you've also headed overseas and tested your metal against some of the best in North America, and so people have this feeling like Mario Tambakis has been around forever. But how old are you, Mario?
I just turned 27.
Yeah, so you're a young athlete in your own right, and in arm wrestling terms, I mean that's when you consider that some of the best in the world are 30 years older than you. Almost. I mean, in some cases, but 20 or 30 years older than you. I mean, it's a long path ahead. Does it strike you as now you're now the hunted, whereas you've previously been that young man taking down big reputations, and now all of a sudden maybe there's people that are eyeing off you in the same way as you have been targeting perhaps bigger names previously?
Yeah. I see it at comps. I did the 2 years in a row now. Went to every single comp in Australia, and you get that feeling from people that that are fairly new, that I haven't met before, at least. I've seen you. Like, hopefully I can bust your wrist back. Or, like, I get these little comments before we head up on stage. I'm like, sure, you can try. But it's great. It's great. And then giving them some tips and stuff like that afterwards. It's cool. You can make a lot of friends in this sport. It's great.
You kept really active in a time when a lot of athletes just went on hiatus. So during that COVID period, if there was a super match or there was a tournament, you were there.
I was there.
It didn't matter where it was in the country. Mario just turned up. So for you, was that really important to keep active during that time, to give yourself an edge that once COVID had ended, that you were well positioned to make the most of things after that?
Yeah, that was partly the motivation of why I did that. I just wanted to prove to myself and everyone around me that I'm definitely in the top 5 in Australia. That's where I wanted to be, and especially since I'm not exactly too heavy. I'm probably the lightest guy in the top 10 for right at this point in time. And I'm proud of that fact. I can hang with the big boys.
How much are you weighing at the moment?
108 kilos. Ooh. And it's got to come down for Arizona State, which I'm booked in for.
Okay. Or they've got weight classes.
What will you be competing at Arizona?
100 kilos.
100 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the beard? You just got to shave it and
just
there's
trim
8
it.
kilos.
Oh, nah, just trim about a quarter inch off that, and then I'll make weight.
Just got to quickly say hello to Marcus Thompson, who has jumped in the chat there. Morning from Ireland, boys. This is AWE is doing big things. Oh, I can do a better one than that. Oh, thank you, Marcus Thompson. Arm Gods, legendary. There we are, speaking with Mario Tambakis.
Yeah, I heard he's doing great things over there.
Yeah,
good old Marcus Thompson.
Yeah, what a guy. And we get to the opportunity to speak with yourself at the moment. I know you've been working hard lately. You've always, you're running your own business, so you're flat out all the time.
Yeah.
And, it has been hard to nail you down for a moment to be able to jump on and have a quick chat with us.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm usually working during the mornings. Sometimes it shifts over into the afternoons, and then I've got to get sleep for night work as well. So, I'm literally just had a nap and woken up. So I'm going to work after this.
So how do you fit in training amongst all of that? And what does your training regime look like at the moment?
It's whenever I get time.
Right.
Truly.
Just squeezing it in.
Yeah. It's just whenever I can get it.
So are you adapting the length that you're spending in the gym as a result, or you're trying different things out in order to make the most
you're right.
of the
I sort of, say if I can only get like 45 minutes tonight, I'll make up for it tomorrow with maybe an hour and a half or an hour and 45. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I always want to average about an hour at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an hour a day?
Yeah, an hour a day, 7 days a week. More
7 days a week.
But works for me, yeah.
Right. You're living on my schedule at the moment.
No, you don't sleep, Matt.
He hasn't slept since January.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to get in the position now where I have been able to step away from the full-time work. Just on Friday, just gone. So I'm still trying to find a routine where, people say, when are you going to train and what's your routine going to look like? I'm like, I have no idea. I've done shift work for 22 years straight. So I don't know.
It's going to be difficult to come back.
Yeah, it is weird. What is weird to me, and this has always been weird, probably the last 5 years, is when people get up in the morning and then they go to sleep at night on the same day, and it's like no.
The clock hasn't ticked over.
It's only been 16 hours. How are you going to bed already? How are you tired? This is crazy. This is weird.
That's what normal healthy people are doing,
that's
and have been doing for forever. But Mario, you obviously it'd be wonderful to. I guess during your career for you to be able to see arm wrestling be a full-time pursuit. Do you see that as a possibility on the horizon in the next 5 or 10 years, where maybe somebody like yourself could give up tools and just dedicate yourself 100% to the world of arm wrestling?
Yeah. And you guys are partly to thank for that dream. I feel it will be coming, and hopefully AWE is at the forefront of it.
Oh, well, it's definitely our mission. I think that arm wrestling is one of those sports that's just exploding around the world. And for all the reasons that we love the sport, is the reasons why so many people are cottoning onto it. I think people have a preconception about it that the minute that they spend any more than 5 minutes looking at it, completely flip on that and understand it's about community, it's about strength, it's about mateship, it's about really getting the best out of yourself and those people around you, and which is just a wonderful thing for the world. But importantly, I think it's the sport now is starting to present as an opportunity for those athletes that are coming up and that are perhaps at that stage in their career, like yourself, where they've done the hard yards, that have been developing themselves a profile and a reputation and laying the foundations. And in the next few years, as more and more attention comes to the sport, more attention will come the way of the Mario Tambarkis of this world.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. Yeah.
It feels like arm wrestling is right on that borderline where it's about to explode into the stratosphere, and the more people that watch it and find out about it, even I've only been in the sport for 4 years, but from when I started and people just going, is that a thing? What is that? I have no idea what that is. To probably the last year, so many more people that are coming up to me and going, oh, did you see that match with Devin? And they know Schoolboy, they know they know Mario, or maybe there's people that are out there that are seeing all this content and they're finding it, and it's incredible that it's like, oh yes, they are now finding the world of arm wrestling, and it is starting to push and make itself known.
So I completely agree with that, Matt. Yeah, I'm starting to get noticed at like the local Macca's, and dudes taking photos with me, man.
Yeah, really, yeah,
legit. Yeah, it happened the other day. You can even ask old Lachlan. He was there with me.
So they didn't recognise Lachlan, but they did recognise you.
Oh no, they had no idea who he was.
Pushed him to the side. Get out of here, you.
So Mario, you did mention that you're heading over to Arizona, and so what was attractive in particular about heading over for that particular tournament?
Well, I was meaning to go back there last year, but instead I went to Hungary to see the family instead. So I was due in for a trip, and Tim Tolmage sent me the flyer for this tournament. I'm like, this is perfect, and it's a good time for me too. So, work-wise, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they're coming off of the AWE 2, where you'll have 2 matches, not only on the right arm against the unknown quantity of Reichard Borman, but you're also having a left arm match with Adam Taranenko, the top roll king, earlier in the night. How do you feel with that one?
I feel pretty confident. Just the weight advantage and the size of his hand, because I did grip him back in Washington when I competed in Washington in 2021. So I feel fairly confident with the left-hand match. Like, I did see the damage he done to Pavlo. I mean, almost getting out of his hand, and knowing how strong Pavlo is relative to Lachlan Adair, who I recently versed and got absolutely fucking mugged. but like, knowing that Lachlan Adair could work with Pavlo, and so could Arden in a way, has me thinking like it should be close to even. Maybe but I feel like I'm going to come out on top.
Yeah, it'll be it'll be an interesting matchup, and I think this is one of the great things with AWE is that we're literally able to get two world-class athletes together to settle this discussion, and great for Artem to be able to make his way over here and find a worthy adversary in yourself as well, and a great chance for you to be able to test your mettle against somebody who is competing against maybe a larger array of competitors. So it must be enlightening for you to be able to find out where you might sit on the international stage when you compete against somebody like Artem.
Yeah, it will be a big eye opener. And if I do win convincingly, it's a big confidence boost for Arizona. 2 weeks later, yeah.
Josh Biker's jumped in with a comment, and he says that everyone knows that Muzz is the nicest bloke in arm wrestling. And
cheers, bro.
He also says that you're going to lose both matches 4-0.
I can bet on that.
That's great. And the Drew 24 has jumped in as well. He's one of the staples. This is one of those 6 or 7 guys that will be on every single stream you'll see in the world, and always on every single arm wrestling video in the world. You'll see the Drew's comment, YouTube boosting algorithm comment. So he is always appreciated to have him.
He's a big supporter of the arm wrestling community. Yeah, I've seen the Drew around.
We all see that. We all know who you are, Drew. You can't hide anymore. But in terms of the nicest man, absolutely. And yes, I remember we had the Apex event a few years ago, which Mario came along for. And, and stayed at my place, and we couldn't have been a nicer guest to have. You cleaned the room, and
man, got to do my part, you know.
Oh, it was fantastic, and the fact that you helped with the setup. He was competing on this day.
Yeah,
you helped us with the setup and the pack up as well. Yep. And I was there till midnight because, obviously we were running the event, and so we had to get all the stuff. Mario was there helping it right up until the very last minute.
And pulling all comers until the end of the day as well.
Oh, with a smile on his face and a beer in his hand. I was watching
as you do, right?
It was just unbelievable. There was so much, because obviously I had the camera just pointed at the table for the after pull, and I just let it run, and I hadn't watched it back when I was cutting all the footage together from the tournament, and I was like, oh yeah, the after pull stuff, and it was just Mario standing there like this, and a beer, sipping the beer every now and then just people just coming up and not being able to move his arm.
So for an elite athlete like yourself, what do you enjoy the after pulls? It seems like it seems like a great opportunity for you to connect with the fans and people that are arm wrestling curious. But
I feel like you can learn a lot from after pulling too. So I like that. Yeah, and you're right. You can connect with the people. So like I've never spoken to Reichard, but we're going to leave everything on that table, not on us, and then we'll definitely share a few beers and after pull and share ideas. Like I can't wait for that. I find that's almost the best part of arm wrestling.
He can show you how to flip a plate. It's going to be great.
And I'll show him how to win. So we'll be
great. So Chris Hex, there's definitely bourbon in that mug. There, 100%. There's bourbon. That's performance enhancing bourbon.
Neo Geo has jumped in as well to say hello. Neo Geo, is this the Neo that comes to the arm wrestling comp? Because I've been looking to add you into our chat. I don't know what your real name is. So
we don't.
I know you as Neo, and I'm hoping this is the Neo that is the one for the comp. If it is, let me know, and then send me a message because I don't know what your real
Hollywood
name is.
Matt Connelly a message and say I am Neo.
I am the Neo.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We've also got the Drew. He's given a nice.
The Drew. We should get the Drew on one day.
That'd be great. Chris Hanks. We did see that one. There's definitely bourbon in that mug for sure.
100%. He knows it.
Josh is brutal. He is brutal. 0 losses for Mario is the prediction from Josh there. Sam Stewart says that. Is this one
Eric
of those?
Kang.
Could be his name. No, Eric Kang. Asked, are you single? Well, I don't know who he's asking that to. It could be any of us.
Yeah. Stop fucking around, Eric.
There we go. And Neo, it is. Oh, Neo, that is the one. Neo, send me a message so I know who you are.
It is the one.
Yes, I've been wanting to add, and nobody else knows what your name is either. Everyone knows you as Neo. Josh Barker says, how is AWE going to handle the flock of girls that are trying to be getting at Mario?
It's a very good question, and it's something that here at AWE HQ we take very, very seriously, Josh Barker, and we have beefed up security for AWE 2, especially after AWE 1. It seems holding the event inside a cage isn't enough to keep the women out, and so we're going to have to set up some other barricading. There has been talk of a moat, so we are taking the precautions. We do want the public to be safe. We want all the ladies to be safe. We don't want any further injuries at all. So it's a good question, Josh Barker.
We should be handing out. You know how people get those faces that in the crowd, like in sporting events, and you could get a Mario mask.
You can get a Mario mask.
Oh, dude. That won't end well.
Just a bit. So Borman might be too much for Mario. You never know, and I guess that's the big question mark that we will know. We will know on the 2nd of July. We will know the answer to that question. And Mario is very, very confident and has every reason to be. So if Borman wins, it'll be the greatest upset in Australian arm wrestling history.
Potentially, yeah.
I don't agree with that. Like, if he can beat me, because I'm going to be at my best, it'll be insane. It'll be crazy. But I can't see it happening. Not for like another couple of years.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that if somebody's got an incredible strength, they've got amazing potential, and they're showing a lot of promise, which is what Reichard's doing on the table. And he, as you pointed out in your messages with me, that there is a difference between being in practice pools and the actual real thing. The setup, the knowledge and experience that you've got is going to be your big advantage going into that match, because people can be a lot stronger than you, but if you get your position and you prevent them from getting into their lane of strength, they literally can't do anything.
It's game over, honestly. I equate Borman to like my arm wrestle with Larry Wills. Like, I know Larry's way stronger than Reichard, but still was a no fucking brainer, to be honest.
And do you remember that first time on a big stage where you felt like, okay, I'm coming of age as an arm wrestler, and here's a big moment for me, and you've got that big super match against a formidable opponent. Do you remember that feeling? And now when you step into a big match up and a big super match like you're about to, how do you feel differently now? Are the nerves still there in the same way, or are you much more settled? Does the adrenaline still pump in the same way, or do you have that?
Like, I'll use 2017 was my coming out moment. It was Nationals 2017, and what I felt compared to, say, what I felt with Gunter's coming in was like a nervousness, but in a way where it's like I'm afraid to lose. But when it was back in 2017, Nats, there was no fear. It was just, I had one thing on my mind. It was just to win. And that plays a big part for me, because I feel like it affects me really hard, my mental state going into the match. So yeah, that fear of losing, that's something I'm trying to overcome. Yeah. Going into matches.
So it's one thing being the hunter and another being the hunted in some respects. And now maybe you're the hunted on this occasion, and that's a very different dynamic to be competing in. Yeah.
But I don't, because there's a lack of experience there, and I know there's a lack of experience with Reichard, I don't feel that fear. Like, well, at least now I don't. Maybe on the day. It might be just a little bit. It might be just a tiny little doubt. But I don't think I'll be affected by it, because I'm trying to get a handle on it.
Well, perhaps we can get some of your thoughts on the top of the card there. So we've got Mataringi, Hedda Morris the Beast, up against Todd Hutchings. So first of four, how do you see that one?
I see Todd coming out with a win on that one. Just because stylistically, I think it feeds to Todd's move. His best move, which is, palm up, pronation on, all side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if Mataringi is to have a chance, where's that chance lie for him?
He's got to stay high and away, and try to also get Todd over supinated. That's what I believe. As soon as he turns off Todd's supination, he's got the advantage.
Interesting insight.
170 kilos at the moment, Matawarangi is. So
For him to be 175 by
He's a
weighing in.
big guy, man.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And actually, I would love to hear your thoughts on your match, your first AWE match with Gunter's Bikos for the heavyweight title. It was a 3-0 result, but there was moments in there, and I think from what you've said that if there was one more round, that you would have figured it out what you needed to do to get the
I
win.
knew exactly what I needed to do for the fourth. If there was a fourth round, I knew exactly where I wanted to go and how to handle it. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would have won, but it would have been better. Like I would have been in my spot or in my position, even closer to me. As it, like if you look at the pin at the pegs, it would have been on my side, or if not, the center of the table, as opposed to his side.
Were you surprised that he transitioned from top roll to press so high?
I've seen him do that to Jordan Davis, for example, in the SA titles back in like 2018. So I know he's got a press, so I knew it was coming. But I thought I could hold it. That's the difference.
Because it came from high and quite outside of his body as well.
Was.
Like it was I can understand why you felt like you might have been able to contain that.
Yeah, he's also got a lot of like pec pressure, so he'll bring it in. So it's constant. Your hand's constantly like leaving from your body, like it's going out.
Yeah,
yeah. So there's no. If you try to defend against it, you're at a huge disadvantage.
In the third round, it did. You turned it in. You got supinated, and it looked like you were turning the match into a hook. He still
That's
jumped
what I wanted.
onto a
Yeah,
press.
in that third round. Yeah. So I tried 2 different variations of top roll. They both didn't work. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm hooking him." Set it, but it was set too far out. So if I had a fourth round, I would have set it further in. I think I would have had a better hand position in the setup and would have set it on my side of the table.
So do you feel a first to 4? So we've made that adjustment now. Do you feel a first to 4 is going to suit your game a little more coming into AWE 2?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've got a lot of endurance, So it lends to my strength at least. Not for the older guys though.
Yeah. Gunter's was like, "Are you sure? I'm an old guy. I'm 51." First to 4, Gunter's.
It was still time to talk us out of it, just right up until a week ago. So it's not how we do it in Latvia.
That's right. Just answer the question here that Luke has put in. He's asking what's up with Ben Carroll. I don't think we've heard much from Ben Carroll for quite a while. He did compete and do quite well over in WAF or in the
Zloty tour.
In the Zloty tour, a few years ago. But we haven't really heard much from him since. I don't think he competed in the Perth titles that they had, the West Australian titles.
I was there for 2 years in a row.
Right.
When was that? It was 2022 and 21. So he wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he's an enormous guy, obviously, and has the ability to move into any sport that he likes.
Yeah,
so
great talent.
At any point in time, if he decides to come back into the world of arm wrestling, he'll probably walk straight into the upper echelons of the top ranked guys.
Indeed. And sorry, another comment that you wanted to go through.
Sure.
Mario can beat Bowen.
The Drew asks, Mario, can you beat Bowen? And you saw how they are on the table. Yeah.
I'm guessing he's referring to Reichard and Bowen.
Yeah.
I'll take a completely fucking different lane to Bowen when I'm up against Reichard. So it will look a lot different.
Is it the flop King's move?
No, it's the vertical King's move. You know how he drops down and does this? Yeah. I'll make sure I won't do that, and then I should be okay. But
we did
Bowen,
see a great match.
He's
with
got the
you
upper
and
hand
Ryan.
on me.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I didn't mean to talk over the top.
Nah,
of you.
sorry, man. Like I'm just babbling now.
That's great. We with you when you came along to the Apex for the very first time, we did see that the grand final was between yourself and Ryan Bowen, and it was some very close moments in that. So
it was essentially a 6-round super match, right? We had because we did it over 2 classes. Or was it 3 classes?
3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was over 3 classes. So essentially it was 4-2. 2 to me, 4 to Ryan. We're talking.
And that was 2 years ago. Yeah,
no, it was 2020.
Yeah, 3 years ago then.
It's been a while.
Yeah. You were but a 24-year-old young man back then. And
and I was like 93 kilos too that day.
Yeah, that's right. So returning your thoughts to AWE 2 and the top of the card there, of course, we've got Ryan Blue Bowen, your aforementioned nemesis, up against Artem Taranenko. Artem making his way all the way over from Florida to be a part of the event. How do you see that one going?
I think Ryan takes it.
Mm.
Ryan's a bigger human as well, so that lends its advantages. And he's coming in a lot heavier than he was, fucking a month ago. So
yeah.
I say just it's 4-0.
4-0 Ryan Bowen. Okay.
Wow.
Bold prediction. Bold prediction there.
Yeah.
So we've got
oh, you want me to bring it up? Sorry.
No, Lachlan Adair. Adair versus Jordan Sill. Big matchup. A few unknowns here. So, of course, on the international stage, we've just seen Lachlan perform against Todd, and we saw the result there. What's changed for Lachlan, and what kind of what kind of momentum is Jordan bringing to the table?
I honestly reckon Lachlan wins that with. Okay. I don't think there will be a stop, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So some bold predictions there. So for any of the punters that are staying tuned, of course, Mario's had the benefit of gripping up with most of the competitors that are at the top of the AWE card, and so has some very good insight. So if you are betting, this might be the podcast to be listening to. Josh Parker, please ask Miles if he's been taking his creatine.
Yeah.
That's what's in that mug. Yeah, there's all creatine in that mug. There's no water.
Creatine and bourbon.
Yeah.
Good mix.
Have you ever dry scooped protein powder? Like when you've not got no water, there's no milk or anything available.
Tried to stomach it?
Yeah.
It's like eating a wheat bix.
It goes completely rock hard in your mouth. It's awful. Then, it's absolutely terrible. I did that with, I was driving and I thought, I haven't had my protein. There it is next to me. Oh, great. And I 3 scooped into my mouth and then it turned to concrete. And then that hit the back of my throat and I coughed protein all over the car. Jesus, it was not fun. So don't do that.
No, they're good tip. Good tip for new players.
Just don't do that, everybody. Don't try and scoop protein.
If you're a young man and you've just got your first tub of Joe Weider's Megamass 2000, and don't do that.
No, go for the 3000.
Yeah,
it's 1,000 times better.
1,000 more calories.
So with yourself, Mario, let's say, obviously, you're the favourite going into this because there is that question mark going against with Riker. We don't know where he's at. We've talked about it as being a huge challenge for him against somebody of your caliber. So let's say you get a victory in this match. Where are you looking at? Is there somebody that you would look at after this potentially? I know you're not wanting to look past your opponent, but in terms of what your goals might be, obviously you've got your Arizona State tournament as well, about a fortnight after that. But in Australia, is there anyone you might have your eye on?
Yeah, give me Vitaly or Ryan Bowen. Like, please.
Okay.
Either of those two.
Yeah, and maybe a potential rematch with Gunter's.
Oh, if that's on the card, fuck yeah. Yes, please. Hell yeah. Especially if it's 4 rounds. Make it 5, dude. Fuck it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that shiny belt got a lot of attention on the day. And yes, Gunter's walked away with the heavyweight title, and obviously Matawarengi walking away with the Intercontinental, and Hamza Hodzic from SA, from South Australia, with the junior belt. But Marcus decided that those belts looked very, very nice, and he decided to call out for one, and that's why he's having the match that he is having against Gunter's now. And I like the look of that belt. I think I would like to own one of those.
This is my favorite match, to be honest with you guys. This is my absolute favorite match.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, and how do you see it? What are your insights? What are you thinking?
I think it'll probably go 4-2, and Gunter's will come out with a win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 4-2.
I feel like he's going to feel it out for the first maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and then he'll know to top roll, transition to press.
Yeah.
And that's how it'll probably go.
But one of the really interesting things to come out of AWE, one was Marcus Satira, the attention that Marcus drew post-event. I guess, when you're that big and you're that physical and you're that strong and you've had such a dominant performance, and you're calling a heavyweight champion out before and really it was a real coming of age for Marcus Cicerai. A lot of people all of a sudden woke up to this Tahitian giant that was all of a sudden on the doorstep of the arm wrestling world.
Yeah, all he needed was that opportunity that you guys gave him. Seriously.
Yeah, well, he took not only the one match, but he decided to jump on as well and have a second match.
Yeah, it didn't have his fill, literally.
Right. It's just an incredible thing to do, because obviously we'd lined up for Lachlan Carpenter about 7 different opponents.
Oh, yeah.
They all found out.
That's the Sheck curse right there.
Yeah.
That's like the Lachlan curse, man.
Right. He's too powerful, and they looked him in the eyes. That was the problem, and then they lost themselves. So, but on the day, it was supposed to be Ryan Bowen having a match after his match with Matawarengi, but he decided he didn't have anything left after his match with Matawarengi.
I don't blame him. Honestly, we were there.
That was a war.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And to go up against somebody that big and that strong for 4 rounds, even walking away, unfortunately with a loss, but you've destroyed yourself. And then it's like, by the way, Lachlan Carpenter's over there, and you're scheduled to face him. And it's like, I know they went quickly behind the cage, and it was like, let me just see if I've got anything for you. It was like, I've got nothing. That's just going to be me just getting pinned by you. So Marcus Atirai, luckily, he said, "Hey, well, I'm still fresh and I'm keen."
Well, luckily for Marcus, not so great for Lachlan, as it turns out.
He got the pin on him, which I wasn't really surprised. I know Lachlan's strengths, but he handled him in the fucking following rounds. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I do feel for Lachlan, because you do prepare for a competitor, and you work out where the weaknesses are. You try to play to your strengths and try and find a lane against their weaknesses. And we know that Lachlan had given that matchup a lot of thought, and then to find that last minute things have been mixed up. He's gone in there with a game plan, trying to execute it against a completely different opponent, and obviously had to kind of be a little bit more, I guess, on his feet, and of course, by the time he's trying to work out the competitor, the match was almost over. So I do feel for Lachlan in that set of circumstances. But
I was helping him train for his match originally. It was Vitali, wasn't it? It was Brett, and then it was Vitali.
Yeah, it was Vitali, and then it was Brett, and then it was Ryan, and then
so every time we got a new opponent, we obviously worked out what the best way to win is, or best strategy or move, and we trained it. So it's changed like 6 or 7 times in the lead up. So to be fair to Lachlan, at least, he did get shit end of the straw.
Oh, for sure. The fact that he even said, okay, well, I'm happy to go up against Marcus. But
he wanted the match too, so that's another thing.
That's right.
He's always wanted Marcus, so it's good.
Okay,
it's good.
Well, there you go. Maybe a potential rematch in the future for those 2 guys as well. So that's one of the things. We'll see how he goes at this event, because both of you will be pulling again in July the 2nd here in Adelaide. And we'll see Lachlan Carpenter on the table. How do you see his chances? How do you see his form going in against his opponent this time?
Oh, with Doug? Yeah, no, he's. I think Doug's finished, man.
Really?
He's feeling very fucking strong. Like we arm wrestled last night, so he's feeling good. And we already know the lane he's going to take. So,
how's his plate flipping?
It's okay. It's not as good as Riker, obviously. There's a standard.
Yeah,
there's that.
Of course, that's the litmus test.
It is.
So,
and Doug Fanafi here, obviously coming back to the arm wrestling scene.
It's his return.
Yeah, a bit of a hiatus. So, he's stepping back into the ring, and he's going up against one of the top guys in Australia in Lachlan Carpenter. So,
no backwards and coming forwards there. The Drew 24. When does Jamie Barrett pull next? So we are working with Jamie. We love Jamie. When he gives up his career as a professional bodybuilder, I think we'll talk. He's looking great, isn't he? Jamie Barrett,
very shredded.
Shredded. He's lean. He looks like a classic bodybuilder competitor right now. He's in great great shape. So we would love to see Jamie come back. Finding good opponents is really the key, and with somebody like Jamie now having competed against Hamza, we have to scour outside of these shores in order to find the Jamie's next target. So a lot of work's going in behind the scenes, and we've got some very big international dates to announce in the not too distant future, and we're hoping that Jamie can be part of those plans. So
yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, that we can only have so many matches on a card, and I think we've got 10 or 11 on this card, and obviously that. I think it's 10, but so you want to put as many people as you can, but you don't want to end up with an East versus West situation where you've got 300 matches and it takes 3 days to get through.
Yeah, indeed, and Jamie, naturally, he's having to reset now, having competed for that. For the junior title, and now having to work out himself what's his path to achieve his goals, and we're very confident that AWE is part of that path for him, and for us the challenge is now is finding worthy opponents that are going to be entertaining to watch, and importantly great steps forward. Couch Apple.
Couch Apple, yes, the Couch Apple on YouTube has said, hi mate, and / Dave.
Hey,
hi mate / Dave. What's up? ? Yes, I purchased the pay-per-view and excited for the card. Reichard's lacking the experience, so I'm expecting flash pins from Mario. I'm surprised Reichard is leading the poll in Ryan Bowen's poll, which is 54 to 46. Yeah, well, that is what's exciting about it, is that there is that question mark element going into this, and obviously Ryan is with his big social media following, and he's able to sort of push content for Reichard's benefit on a more frequent basis, as opposed to what we're seeing from Mario, who's sort of training in the shadows,
in the dungeon, bit. Dorian Yates style.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't hear from him until the day.
That's right.
And he just turns up, and away he goes.
So I would say that's probably more the result of that poll is the Ryan's pushing and saying this guy is the next big thing. And people saying, yeah, well, he looks phenomenal. He looks crazy strong. And then, it's like, well, who's he going against? This guy who's hit the shadows in the dark in the dungeon, well, okay. And yeah, so that would most likely be the result.
Couch Potato, can I ask which channel did you...
Couch Apple.
Oh, sorry, what did I say? Couch Potato? Sorry, Couch Apple. My mistake. How undignified. Couch, if I can ask you, which channel did you buy your pay-per-view on? Because you can, of course, buy on the channel of the athlete of choice. As long as they got more than 10,000 subs, they'll be able to provide you with the pay-per-view. So let us know who you bought the pay-per-view. Which channel did you support with your pay-per-view purchase? And by the way, Couch Apple, you might have missed our earlier announcement, but the AWE, Todd, this is an AWE 1, the only Todd Hutchings AWE 1 shirt in existence, and you'll have the chance to win that by doing exactly what you've just done, Couch Apple. You bought the pay-per-view, if you buy the pay-per-view, or if you buy a ticket to be at AWE 2 in person, which will, of course, buy you access to the after pool and the after event party, well, then you'll also go into the draw to win this Todd Hutchings. Well, it's not a limited edition. It's the only one on the planet. It is the only one on the planet. So
can I touch it?
You can touch it. You can. It's now
it's worth less than now.
Devalued.
Born has is it Borman Contrado potentially?
Contrado.
It is him. Oh, great. Yes, one of the young phenomenal arm wrestlers from Australia here is he's made some recent wins and looking in fine form. He might be a potential AWE competitor.
Yeah, his left hand is very, very serious. Very serious.
He says that Ryan's fans are crazy, but he also says if they think Mario is going to lose, they are crazy. Yeah. Well, as we oh, that's right. Yeah, so Bowen, he had a recent match. Who did he beat recently that I remember seeing?
Christian Boz. He was an AW1.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and he's been around for quite a while as well. turning into a bit of a seasoned arm wrestler, Owen Contrado there, and doing good things. So we keeping up.
Got our eye on you, Owen. We've got our eye on you.
Yeah, and it's not Ryan Bowen, it's Bowen.
That's Bowen.
Just to make it more confusing, the fact that there's Josh Barker, Jamie Barrett, there's
Sam
like
Burnett,
Sam
Jamie
Burnett,
Barrett.
There's like these combinations. You change one letter and it's a different person. It's like there's like 7 different people that are all fit into that. Absolutely.
So we do have one competitor on the card, Mario. So who is competing? I think next week, and then we'll be competing at
Rhett.
AWE too. So so Rhett is Rhett Downward, who is competing against Laz Bolter, the South African superstar. And now you've competed at the highest level. What do you think about a 2-week turnaround? Is that enough?
It all depends on how this match goes this weekend, because I'm pretty sure they're pulling on Saturday. If it's a grinder, it's going to affect him for sure. But if he slams him, 3-0, 4-0, whatever it is they're doing at UAC, he'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think it's a risk for an athlete when they've got an opportunity of, well, I guess it's one of those things at this time in the world of arm wrestling that everyone is taking their opportunities where they can get them. But, you would think, oh, it's so close. Like, why give you put yourself in a position?
I think we think, oh, it's so close. What are you doing? I think we're more nervous about it than Rhett is. So Rhett seems fine with it.
Yeah.
So he's confident. Elbow's great. No dramas, no injuries, no twinginess. Should be good. So
last thing we wanted is for him to.
Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways too. Like it could be great training for him. Like it could be like his last very heavy session before he hits AWE 2, and he could be peaking for it depending on how he approaches it. And that's how I see it. And when I competed regularly, in the last 2 years when I was on the tournaments around Australia, that's how I approached it.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good. I felt like I got stronger in areas where I was lacking.
Yeah, well, quite conversations with Lass. Lass feels that it's definitely to his advantage. Lass certainly won't be pulling 2 weeks prior to. He'll be fresh and ready to go. So, it'll be very interesting to see how that matchup turns out and whether Rhett uses his recent competition as an excuse as to why he doesn't win if he doesn't win. So it'd be very interesting to see how it goes on the day. Couch potato.
No, it's Couch Apple.
Couch Apple. I just see the couch. Next thing, just word association, Couch Apple. My apologies, mate. It's Couch Apple. Ignore the punctuations. Being a Danish, I learned English very hardly. Meanwhile, I purchased tickets via Rome. Awesome. So being Danish, all's forgiven. Everybody loves the Danes. And purchase a ticket on Orion Blue Bowen's YouTube channel via the membership tab. Well done, Couch Apple. And hope you enjoy the event. And we'll be thinking of you, watching for your comments on the stream. I'm sure the commentators will give you a shout out during the course of the event. Josh Barker back in the chat. Where is AWE? When is AWE 2 from Drew? So depending on where you are, Drew, where are you, Drew?
He is in the United States of America.
So you're going to find that on the 1st of July in your part of the world. East Coast or West Coast? I think it starts on the East Coast at about 7:30 p.m. On the West Coast at 7:30 p.m. and on the East Coast starts at about 10:30 p.m. on the 1st of July. Yeah. And then, of course, that's locally here in Australia, that's 2nd of July. So there might be some confusion over the dates for those people but Josh has just dropped in the comments, July 2nd for Australia, 1st of July in America. Good advice, Josh Barker.
And the Drew is confirmed he's in Vegas.
He's in Vegas, so he's closer to the West Coast, and so you won't have to stay up late at all, mate. That'll be on 7:30, 8 p.m. You'll be able to
go and order it now. The Drew, you don't need to wait. The link's already up. Go and don't waste any time. Just order it.
just order it, please.
Do it.
What do you do?
David Huxley Arm Wrestling. This is how we all.
And we are going great, Dave.
Yeah, he's one of the staples at the arm wrestling from South Australia. He lives in the country and makes his way down every now and then. And every time he does, he decides to have a super match with somebody.
He does.
I think he's actually asked me for a left-handed match, which is interesting.
He's hunting you.
Yeah, but not sure when it's going to happen. Maybe July the 2nd. No, it won't be July 2nd. That's for sure.
I just saw the card, man.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully, we'll see you at the event as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of the people. This is what's fun about the arm wrestling world, is that it's very community based, and people that are into the sport are all very much like supporting each other, and they help each other. And you're seeing that and hear the people that are jumping in, and the people that know Mario, that know us, that want to support the channel and what we're doing, and they're hopefully going to be coming along to AWE2 as well and supporting Mario. We'll have his shirt available in the store at probably the next week or two.
Yeah.
And if you are a fan of Mr. Tim Marcus, as he is accosted at McDonald's regularly, you'll be able to purchase.
So I just want to eat my burger, guys. That was cool. It's surreal. It's surreal.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing to think that that's where the sport is now. That that athletes are, being Ryan Blue Bowen had recently an interesting experience himself, and of course, we all know Ryan's got a very high profile in the world of arm wrestling, and he went to a service station or a gas station, might say, in the US, or servo as we call it in Australia. He went to the service station, and he walked in his AWE match shirt, just like this, and the guy behind the counter said, "Oh, AWE. Oh, do you compete in the AWE?" to Ryan, and Ryan goes, well, yeah. I mean, I'm like number 2 in the country after all. And he went, "Wow, so that's really cool. I really like that Marcus Satirai guy. Like, he's huge. He's huge.
Yeah.
Is he going to compete again? Like, what's going on with Marcus Satirai?" And this guy was super pumped about Marcus Satirai. I had no idea who Ryan Bowen was. I just saw the AWE. So, I'm buying the pay-per-view. The next time you guys do an event. And Ryan's like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." And he kind of walked away. Ryan's ego might have been slightly deflated, but he was just pumped that people recognised the AWE more so than what that guy recognised the AWE before he recognised even Ryan Bowen, and that
might be the main event of
just
the
might
first
be
event.
Did you watch the whole thing? Did you see me? I was like the little guy against that giant Maori guy. Did you see that bit? Almost beat the guy with the tattoo on the face.
That was me. Sure it was. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
The truth says he got the last one on Bowen's channel as well. He's
Awesome.
been a member for a couple of years now. It's just the upgrade to the pay-per-view membership of $10 USD. That's correct. You are on the money.
Yeah.
So yes, just like you did for the AWE number 1, you can do it now if you want, Drew. You could do it now and then say that you've done it.
Yeah, nice one. Great to see. I mean, and good to know as well. Like that when you do buy a pay-per-view, you are supporting the athletes that are competing. And ultimately, what we would love at the AWE is for all of our athletes to get their YouTube following to the point where they can take advantage of that utility and facility on YouTube to generate some additional income. 10,000 subscribers is what it requires, and we're doing all we can to get our athletes to that level. We'd love for our athletes to be earning a good coin from what they do outside of arm wrestling on YouTube, as well as when they're standing beside the table. And we feel that that's a pathway forward for many of our athletes. So please, if you're not a fan of Ryan Bowen, don't be afraid. There are other options. You can head over to Artem Taranenko's channel and subscribe there and buy your pay-per-view there. Of course, Todd Hutchings' channel as well. So stay tuned to that. Why can't I do it on the Hollywood Matt Connelly channel? That's because he's got 3 subscribers. So Neo, that's why. So you're gonna have to find.
You're gonna have to subscribe so I can get there to the 10,000 mark.
If you can subscribe 10,000 times, that would be amazing.
Contact some Russian bots or something and create 10,000 fake accounts and get them all to subscribe to me. And
it'll be perfect.
Be able to do it.
Yeah. So, but Neo, if you're looking for another place to go to watch that event, you can check out any of the athletes and who've got a subscriber base of more than 10,000, and they will be able to help you out. So
there we go. Just like the Drew has. Okay, he's just got the pay-per-view level again for AWE2.
Hey, well done, Drew.
Thank you, the Drew. You've just also put yourself in the running to win this Todd Hutchings shirt, the only one in existence. He will sign it on the day as well. So thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate it, especially the fact you've done it already. And anybody else who is interested in buying the pay-per-view, you can actually do it right now. Like, the link is up there. So it is not something you need to wait on the day. And it does help us to gauge response and as to how well we are doing with our marketing. So,
indeed,
yes, we'd love you to. You don't wait till the day. You can do it now. It doesn't make any difference. You'll do it, and you'll know that it's been done, and you can relax. And then on the day, you go, yep, and you just click it and load. You don't have to fight everyone else to try to get bandwidth to actually get the membership.
Yep,
it's all ready to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Drew. If you can DM Hollywood Matt Connelly. I don't know if you which channel you're watching this on, but if you can DM Hollywood Matt Connelly, zip him through your address there in Las Vegas, and we are going to get you a little something in the post just to thank you for your support, mate. Not just of us, but for all your support that you give to all of the arm wrestling community. It's a okay. So Drew, drop us a quick DM, make it a private one, and we'll make sure something special's coming your way from the AWE store. So thanks, Drew. We really appreciate you buying that pay-per-view, mate. It really is encouraging for us.
Absolutely. He's I'm just seeing if I could make him a moderator for the chat here, which I had to log into my account. That's what I was doing there.
Oh, okay. So there we go.
Add as a moderator and moderator. There we go. That's the one we want. And you should be able to do that there now, Mr. Drew. And thank you again for your efforts.
Oh, it's Mr. Drew now.
Mr. Drew. Mr. the Drew.
Well, thank you very much for that, and we'll definitely we'll send you a little something over. We'll send you something very exclusive over that nobody else will. I'll tell you what. When we send it to you, you send us a little message and let us know what you think.
You are making this up on the spot, by the way. You're looking around the room for what?
No, I am looking around the room because I'm looking around the room to see if I've got it here. Yeah, there is a box somewhere
full of gold.
Full of gold.
Yeah, that's not him.
No, there's a box with some
the cardboard thing.
Yeah, some interesting AWE paraphernalia, and that no one else in the world has seen as yet, Drew. And being an arm wrestling fan,
nice.
These might be souvenirs that you might want to keep, or you might want to just wear proudly yourself. But at the end of the day, you'll be the only person in the world to be in receipt of one. It'll be a one of a kind.
And who is actually your favorite arm wrestler on the card, the Drew? We would like to know. That'd be great. Actually, if anybody who's watching, if you could put in the comments there, who is your favorite on the card? We'd love to see some response. Is it Ryan Bowen? Is it Mario Tembarkers who's joining us here on the chat? Is it Josh Barker, maybe, or Les Botha, or Thomas Fitzy? We'd love
Botha or Bolter?
I go back and forth.
It's like chance and chance.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. So who is your favorite AWE superstar, and who would you like to see compete at AWE 3?
Neo says he'll be sent a box full of cryptocurrency. The SEC is recently dubbed a security risk. So thank you for that. And there we go. The Drew has popped up the link there. That's the advantage of giving somebody the moderator.
Nice.
Thank you, Drew. And yes, so who is your favorite, guys? Please put that in the comments. We'd love to find that out. And I'd love to see somebody being a big Mario Tembarkers fan.
Oh, same.
It's like somebody say Mario.
Please buy my shirt.
And there's like an account just appears. It's just not Mario. And
So Mario, with you heading over to Arizona, is that a super match? That's a tournament setup, is it?
It is a tournament setup. Yep.
Yeah.
All the Latvians are going to be there, so that's pretty cool. So I'll get to compete with maybe Zandris, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's in John Brezeng's hometown. I'm hoping it is. I'm not too sure exactly where he lives in Arizona,
Mm.
but hopefully he jumps into the same class I'm in. That'd be
That'd be
pretty sick.
interesting. That'd be pretty cool.
You
And
know?
have you pulled him previously, or even
No.
just grouped up?
No, never got to meet him.
What a treat!
Yeah,
Yeah,
if it happens.
Yeah, well, it's well, I mean, it's always interesting the different approaches athletes take in the lead up to a big event, and how does your approach change when you're coming into a tournament as opposed to a super match?
Nothing really changes, to be honest.
Right. Well, that was a
Nothing.
shit question, then, wasn't it?
No,
Get
but
out.
like some
Get
people
out.
say I'll train more for endurance, or other people will say I'll just train for speed and power or explosiveness. I
Mhm.
mean, all factor into both types of events, so
Mhm.
I'm good regardless.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. I think that tournament's really wearing on a lot of athletes, and maybe older athletes might struggle a little bit more with that.
Yeah, it's like a
but,
full day. That's the
yeah.
hardest part in my experience, at least. You know,
Waiting
if you're sitting there
around.
for 8-9 hours waiting to go
Mm.
up, yeah, it's
What's
rough.
your preference between a tournament and a super match, if you could choose?
Man, I've always been a tournament guy,
Right.
always. But I'm slowly leading into super matches now.
Yeah.
It's just convenient. You turn up, an hour later, you're on the table.
Mm.
And then, 10 minutes after that, you got a drink in your hand. So I'm happy with that.
That's it. And
And
then
you
you
just
can have
after
some
school and
fun
having
messing
fun.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those things that with the tournament formats, and especially if people are competing in multiple classes, it can drag on for quite a while.
It gets
And
real rough if you're competing in multiple classes.
yeah, and plus the fact that somebody who might win the tournament might actually not be the best arm wrestler on the day. It's just that their opponent was in a war just prior to their match or something like that. Somebody gets slightly injured. So there's a lot of elements at play and leading into a tournament. By the time you're hoping your number 1 and number 2 seed make it through to the final, but really there's so many different people and different matches that they've got to go through to get there.
Yeah. And mental fatigue, like I was saying just before, mental fatigue plays a big factor in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. And was it that tournament you were in there in the US where you were on one table, you had a match, and you literally had to turn
I'm
around?
getting flashback, like Vietnam flashbacks from that. It was brutal, man.
you had
They
a
wouldn't give me even 30 seconds.
You
But
turned
I'm like,
around.
I asked for it, so I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But that was an experience, and that really tested my mettle. And
Mm.
I feel like I've gotten better because of that.
Oh, absolutely. That was the event where you had Cody Merritt?
Twice. Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Wow. What an amazing moment. Yeah, absolutely.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Didn't the event organizer put like a price on your head and said anyone who can beat Mario gets a flight to
The event
Australia?
you mean Ryan Bowen, dude. Yeah. So Jordan Sill beat me first. He was the first guy to beat me, and he was the only guy to beat me that day on the
Wow.
right arm. Yeah. So he competed in both the classes I competed in, and he knocked me out of both of those classes, with the exception of me laying down the Lachlan for the heavyweights. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and you were competing on not only multiple classes, but both the right and left arm. So
Yeah, and they were
there's
going
a video-
simultaneously.
Yes, you see, there's a video on YouTube with Mario in that tournament, and he has a match, and he literally has to spin around and have a match on the table directly behind him instantly, straight away. No break at all.
It's good. It's good.
What's been your favourite outside of AWE, of course? But what's been your favourite outside of AWE so far in terms of competition, the setup, the feel of the event?
So I think it should go over the top.
Yep.
Then it would go Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nationals 2017 for me.
Right.
And that's because it was real personal. It was my moment where I was like, yeah, I'm actually good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the order I'd put it in.
In terms of how the event felt to you and how you performed in the event?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Is it just natural strength that you've got? Because you are incredibly strong. How long have you been arm wrestling for now?
7 years now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Were you when you first started, did you have a natural talent for it?
I had a strong hand. It comes just from a background of playing every sport under the sun, doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and I guess I think a big part of it was like working on cars and trucks and boats all my life too. So I was turning wrenches since I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think I believe that played a big part in it, especially my pronation. So yeah, so I came off the street fairly strong.
And what was it like for that first? Like, what got you interested in arm wrestling?
Well, I was never beaten in school, even by the teachers. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting coming in, and then getting my ass beat by everybody the first day. And then I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to beat everybody here." You know, that was the thought process going back home, and then not being able to move my arms for 2 weeks. But yeah, it slowly got better and better and stronger, and yeah, you know how it went. Became the best in the club at probably 7 months in. So yeah, beating Adam Laura, that was a big moment for me because he was my mentor and my coach too. So you know, big shout out to Adam Laura.
Yeah, what an amazing guy.
Yeah. But then yeah.
All right. So, what was it that attracted you to the sport to start with?
Yeah. So I was dragged along to a session
Oh.
by Tom Demkowski because we went to high school together.
Tom's got my favourite name in arm wrestling, by the way. Tom Demkowski. It's just the best.
For the announcer.
For the announcer, yeah. How he actually performs on the table is very secondary to my favouritism there.
Get him back. Get him back. We'll have him every event.
The door's always open, Tom.
Well, I think he's coming as a spectator.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's coming as a spectator.
Just to destroy everybody in the afterpool.
You could point him out in the crowd. But there's Tom Demkowski.
Have you ever thought of like a fighter name or a nickname that you'd want to be announced inside the cage or
Super
on
Mario.
the stage? Is it because you did mention that?
Yeah, I earned that name. I didn't come up with it. I was called that and it stuck with for like years. So there's no particular name that I wanted.
So who gave you Super Mario?
I think it was either Aussie Arm Wrestler or it was Phil Smelson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
whoever was announcing on the day in the tournament.
Super Mario. Yeah, right. So it just kind of came out nice and naturally. Super Mario.
Yeah, and stuck.
And that's what stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were happy with that? You
100%. Yeah.
Super Mario is fine with you?
Yep. Yeah, it's not too on edge, you know. There's a few out there that can really upset the crowd.
Is it Mario Super Tembaka or is it Super Mario Tembakus or is it Super Mario Tembakus?
That's it.
Okay, so we're going to go with Super Mario Tembakus. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, unless you come up with something better on the day. I mean,
Super Mario's good.
Super Mario's all right, isn't it? Yeah.
Like since we don't get trademarked, like it's all good.
No one would ever do that.
Yeah. You don't usually come up with like a computer game or something around that.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning.
It's about an Italian plumber, right? Like,
what is this? Someone's written here. Super Mario needs to wear some mushroom-themed hat.
Hey, there you go. We've got some
from the Drew.
Drew's already working on the merch store.
That'll be AWE3 merch store. I believe.
Yeah, the Drew also says that Super Mario sounds much better than something like Hollywood Mario. Yeah, no one would make up their own nickname. It's insane. It's just
crazy.
The narcissism involved in that.
You can only imagine spending time with somebody like that. Mega Mario. Now you're thinking, Brandon. Like that's definitely a step up from super mega giga. I think it goes like that. Could be Giga Mario, depending on how he goes against Reichard. So
it does.
What happens if I lose? Like, what would you call me then? Like mediocre Mario Tembakus.
I think if we announce you as Mega, and if you lose, come back to Super. But if you win, go up to Giga.
Yeah.
So
we'll play that sound when Mario dies. When you go
every round I lose. It's just like,
that could be your theme music as you come out.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some amazing people come through the chat here. Should we wrap things up? You reckon?
Oh well, I guess yes. Yes, let's do that then, Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
we
up
got
to you?
we got pizzas on the way. So
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, all
I
right.
don't know how you hate eating pizzas on
Hate
the
it.
live stream.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just reminds me there was. Oh no, that's what I had a comment I was going to
Oh,
make,
okay.
which was what was the difference? But well, I don't understand pizza shops that have Supreme and then they've got Super Supreme, and what is the difference between?
What's the difference between a
More
Mario
toppings,
and a
right?
Super Mario? Obviously.
More toppings. It's the same though.
More of the same topping?
yeah. I'd
Okay,
say so.
that's all it is.
Yeah.
Super Supreme, Super Mario, more toppings from Mario Tembarkis. Hopefully for July the 2nd, he's going to wear his Mario themed hat. He has confirmed that now.
Abdul Rahman says, "Good luck, Mario."
Cheers,
Before we
Abdul.
go, good luck. You've got a fan out there, mate. Good luck, Mario. You got this. So someone's got confidence
bro.
in you. We've got some final comments from the Drew 2.5 hour stream now. Mate, we just don't have social lives, so we'll do this all night if you let us.
We probably would, actually. That's why I said we should probably, because otherwise Mario will be asleep in the chair.
Yeah,
And we'll still be like, so Mario.
Just
Your
waking up for those
plate cooking
questions.
So Mario, before we go, anything you'd like to share with the fans and those from Mario Stockbridge is winning 8.
It's gotten to that level now.
Yeah. And so, Mario, any final thoughts? Any message there for young Reichard about his upcoming matchup with you? Anything you'd like him to be working on?
Oh man, everything. Get stronger, dude. Honestly, I don't think AWE 2 is going to be his time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I've got to say.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go,
Oh.
Reichard. Well, good luck to you, Mario, and looking forward to seeing you here in Adelaide. That's 1st of July if you're in the US and you like Drew and you just bought the pay-per-view. That's going to be for Drew there on the West Coast, or near enough to the West Coast, on the western side of the country. That'll be kicking off about 7:30 p.m. on the 1st of July. If you're here in Australia and you want to come and attend, well, you can certainly do that, and you just need to buy a ticket. To do that, you can go to diamondbackfc.com right now, and you can put in the code word AWE2, and that'll get you cage side tickets and access to the after pool, and it'll even put you in the draw to win this one of a kind Todd Hutchings AWE 1 shirts, never worn before, one of a kind. You'll get that opportunity because all new shirts for AWE 2. All new shirts, new design, new sponsors. So there will never be another one like it. So to go into the draw, buy your pay-per-view now. Do as Drew has done. You can head over to Ryan Bowen's channel. Of course, you can go to the athlete of choice. As long as they've got 10,000 subs or more on YouTube, they'll be able to stream the event to you. So support the athlete that you love the most. And just before we go, we've got Couch Apple. I'll get your name right this time. Sorry, Couch Apple, our favourite Danish arm wrestling fan. I'm excited to see where Ryan's level is. Arm's been on fire, and he has been recently, which has swayed his opinion. So maybe, although he's a fan of Ryan's, he might be now changing his opinion after some recent uploads from Artem's team. Hype for this match, and can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, as we all are, Couch Apple is going to be a great event. And as I mentioned just before, if you haven't already, get the pay-per-view. You can do that by heading to the athlete of choice. Of course, Ryan's channel already has the link up. And if you scan through, you'll see in the comments the link that was left for us a little earlier by Drew. Thank you very much for that, Drew, in the comments. So hit that link and make sure that you've got your pay-per-view all booked. And you'll go into the draw to win this AWE1 Todd Hutchings shirt, never worn before because of course, the notorious snowmobile incident.
Snowmobiles are out there. Watch out for those snowmobiles, people.
Trent, before we go, has just jumped in. Trent Taylor.
Just like we've got to say hello to Phil Woody from the UK. He's one of the staple guys. Phil. One of the 6 or 7 that I should round up actually. Who the every single live you'll see the Drew, you'll see Phil Woody, you'll see Marcus Thompson. Yeah, there is a bunch of guys that are in every single one, and Phil Woody, who I'm guessing it's probably very early over in the UK at the moment, he's jumped in to say I hope everyone hits the like button and supports this amazing sport. So thank you, Phil. And the Drews put up a link there again to Ryan's membership page on YouTube, where you can purchase the pay-per-view for AWE2. And Trent Taylor will be the last comment before we wrap up. Righto Stalks, he says. And that is, of course, in reference to Dave Stockbridge, who is Dave's doppelganger. It could be this man. He might have actually accosted Dave earlier and has filled in. But we are very thankful everyone who has joined the stream today. It was probably the longest one we've done. It's 2 hours and 22 minutes, it says. And also, we will plug that. Thank you to Drew for reminding me that Barbell Foods is a sponsor, and they have amazing biltong, and we would love you to go over, use the code ARMWRESTLER.
Arm wrestler.
Arm
If
wrestler.
use the code word arm wrestler, you'll get a discount. And the other thing, the other cool thing is with that is that a barbell, if they can move a certain amount of product, then it's all good for AWE 3. And essentially, it encourages small businesses like this to get on board with big events. And we do have some great sponsors for AWE2 already. That's Apeopoly and Bunsters Sauces, who Bunsters have got distributorship right throughout the US. So if you do like your meat and you like a bit of hot chili sauce, Barbell Foods, of course, wonderful supporters of arm wrestling, and jump on their website, buy some of their product. It is great. It is fantastic. I've got the 1 kilo steaks at home, which I'm just delicately slicing, thinly slicing, and enjoying immensely. So,
Rickard Borman has
Rickard Borman, love you, Mario, your biggest fan. Well,
Oh, good. At least I got a fan.
You did get one person that said that they liked you, Mario.
Oh, okay, cool. My second fan. That's awesome.
Rickard Borman, your opponent.
No.
Oh, this is great. We will wrap this up here because people will keep continuing to write comments, and we'll keep responding to that.
True.
We'll be here for another 3 hours. And there is
100 kilograms per. I think, something like that. I think if we can shift something like 500 kilos, I think the boys there at Barbell Meats, they're very, very keen to do something again with us. That obviously, if we can support them, they'll continue to support us. And we think biltong's a great fit. I haven't met an arm wrestler that doesn't love a bit of biltong and beef jerky, and these guys are certainly providers of some of the best product that you can find, and they can ship it to your front door in a matter of days after you clicking the button. So, the Drew, these guys are on board and supporting the sport that we all love so much, and we're very, very thankful for them being on board and helping us. So, who else is there to thank? Hollywood?
the man on the screen, Mario Timbarkis.
Mario Timbarkis, who's been with us almost all the way. And of course, he's one of our AWE superstars and is back again to do it at AWE2 at the Adelaide Oval. Couch Apples, just finally speaking about Barbell Foods on a funny note. I've never even seen a kangaroo. They don't really make it in the southeast. It's a long way to hop, mate.
Make it halfway, but they'll just never get there.
But if you want to know what they taste like, then
Tastes goodish.
yeah, they're not bad. They're a great source of lean protein. And don't feel bad. You might think, oh, they're so cute. No, we've got tons of them. We've got more than we know what to do with. We literally have to cull them. We have to get rid of them, and so you might as well make biltong out of them. So barbell meats, but biltong and Cobra hats is what we do with all of the kangaroos. Barbell Meats, they're your friends. Head over to Barbell Foods, I should say, and grab yourself some meat that you'll love.
Right, should we
off the website?
Yeah, fantastic. So thank you everyone again.
Should we just wrap it up?
We should wrap it up, and we'll end our stream with Mr. Mario Timbarkis there, Super Mario, Mega Mario on the day, Giga Mario possibly. And thank you again for everyone tuning in. We will end the stream there. So have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks,
heaps, Mario. Take care. Thank you.